Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's Mark, and it's Monday again. It's almost 1. I'm a little bit early. I got to get out of here today. The Rona's meshing everybody's schedule up. It's meshing them up. Hey, don't forget it's Roller Wiener Monday. Here's some real roller wieners in the wild from an astute viewer. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sending that in. Let's get right going on here. See what's going on for an abbreviated show today. Look, the Invest in America Act is out here for the people. For the people. It's for you and me. It's for all of us. Hold hands and let's sing. Stone Trucking closes. Seal Werner, the driver number 1 at Werner Enterprises, is hanging it up and not going to be driving a truck anymore. There's an ATRI cost study, which I talked about on Sunday. And of course, I have stock prices for you. And let's see how those did this week. So what's going on out there today? Everybody, as I come in early, let's see who made it in early today. So George Wilson was first today. I appreciate that. Stan Dodge is here. Thank you for being here. Aviator Trucker, hello. Flying around. I love it. Eddie McFadden, what's going on? Blue Line, hello there. It's Mark the Trucker. That would have been a good name for the channel. Big Huge Mike. What's going on? You're going to be able to catch the show. Christina Jones, hello. It's good to see you. Van Priss, what's going on? George H.W. Bush, the president, is here. All hail the chief. I appreciate you being here while Bill is in the house. James Faust is here today. Hello there. What's happening? Ansel and Penelope. Rain Blossom Smith, which I love. So, hello there, Smoking Papa. What's happening? Frog Lid. Hello, Nick Fast. I don't know why I said it like that. It just seems like that's the kind of thing you would say. Adco, what's happening today? James Snyder, hello from Iowa. What's going on? Joe K is here. Canadian Tanker Yanker is here. Hello. What's happening in the metric system today? DA is here. Hello there. Imperial Sync, what's happening? Trucking with Otis. It's going great out here today. Trucking with Tom Bell. Everybody's trucking with something, right? Good afternoon, Edward G. You're from Gulfport, Mississippi. Wow. Is it as humid there as it was here over the weekend? Blah. It was a blah weekend day. Greetings from Rillo. GSXR. Hello there. The Mark of Excellence is here. I always love a good wiener. Everybody should have a good wiener on Monday, right? If that's your choice. Good afternoon, Chris. I know where 4 Celadon trailers are. Yeah, you ought to go take them and call the court. At least call them up and say, hey, I can get to some of these trailers. What are you going to do? What's the money? But apparently they don't care. They would put a finder's fee out for it, really, right? Angelica Jane, hello. Night Stalker. Still never had a roller wiener driving 2 years. What is going on? Well, I thought that was a part of the requirement to get a CDL. Did they take that out of the test or something? You have to know where to get them, how to properly package them, everything. All that's part of the test. Edward G, hello. Todd Highfield, no more buffets ever again. Oh, what is Golden Corral going to do? How are we going to eat there? Trucker Hershey, picking up in St. Paul. Wow. I wouldn't do that at night. I will tell you that. I've been going around Indianapolis rather than going through town at night because of protests and stuff. So, Comcar filed bankruptcy, yes. And MCT has been bought, yes. They got split up. A couple of different places bought sections of them, yeah. Apparently nobody's going to lose their job, so they say, or drivers are going to be able to keep their job. Greetings from Chicago, Leon. Robert is here. Columbia George, getting ready to deliver 6,000 grams of toluene in Bend, Oregon. Sadly, been missing part of the show. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. 6,000 grams doesn't seem like that much. I don't know. What do you do with that anyways? 6,000 grams. I guess it's depending. If that stuff you stuff in your trunk, I don't know. I don't know. Not a scientist. Well, Bill, I was most of the way through the video you posted with the Canada guy. Oh, yeah? What do you think, eh? Yeah, look, that guy's great. I didn't give him too much grief about Canada. I was going to say something about Tim Hortons, but I didn't. And, that guy asked to interview me, so I don't know. I don't know what brought that on. If it's he might have lost a bet or something. I don't know. But look, that's a great guy, and I thought that was a lot of fun, and I hope to be on the show again. I put a link at the beginning of the chat here, and it's the Safety Dog, DAWG, right? The Safety Dog. If you want to go over and check that interview out, he interviewed me. I'm in the hot seat there. He's on YouTube. He also has a podcast, so that was a lot of fun. So hope everybody will check it out and say hello to him. Todd, it's raining down here in Benton, Arkansas, not Bentonville. I always get those confused. I mean, it's the home of, that place. All drivers be safe, no doubt. Trucking with Tom Bell, be careful with selling on trailers. They belong to bankruptcy court. Well, they should go get their trailers. They're making no effort to get them, to pay people to bring them, anything. They're not doing anything with them. And I get pictures of them. I didn't this week, but a lot of weeks I get pictures of people finding the trailers all over. Trucking with Otis, you're at Subaru in Lafayette dropping a trailer. Are you dropping a trailer or are you dropping did you bring a container down from Chicago? I used to do that when they first opened the plant and I lived up there. I worked for Godo Distribution. This was in the early 90s, maybe. And I would bring down 2 containers a day from Chicago to the SIA plant, which was Subaru Isuzu, where I brought the Isuzu trailers down. So what are you bringing in there anyways? You know that some truck stop restaurants aren't even open for takeout. Yeah, what is going on with that? Some are like open, you can sit down, and then some aren't open. It doesn't make any sense. You're going to avoid Chicago tonight. You'll drive a few extra miles, trucking with Tom Bell. That's not a bad idea. I'm trying to avoid large cities. Preacher Paul, good afternoon. Checking in from Ocala, Florida. All right. Did you see Disney World open too? You have to wear, or Universal. You have to wear a mask while you're outside. That should be pretty pleasant in Florida, wearing a mask all day. Load's ready. Got to run. All right. Thanks, Dodge. Stan, I appreciate you being here. James Faust, hello there. Was that the dog? That's the safety dog. Safety dog, DAWG on YouTube. Type that in there, you'll see him. He's got a number of interviews and YouTube videos and stuff, so it was pretty fun. I hope that he will have me on again. Well, Billy thought I came off informative. Well, that's good. I put a good show on. Who do I drive for? Well, for new people to the show, and I'm earlier today because it started early, I don't tell people who I drive for, and that keeps them out of your videos. I kind of recommend that to people, and I'm not out here recruiting for everybody, even though probably half the drivers on YouTube recruit for their company, and they make a ton of money doing it. I'm not having any of that. No recruiting here. So that's how we keep it here. We keep it real. Heard Central Florida's getting bad weather. Isn't there some kind of storm? Isn't it a named storm? I forget what the name it was. Daycab Gear Jammer, good morning from sunny, warm, riot-ridden California. Yeah, isn't that great? Enjoy your protests, you know. Oh, that's a good policy. I appreciate that. Carlos, hello there. Trucking with Otis. Oh, it's a dedicated route. Okay, trailer. Yeah, I used to bring containers in that place. I mean, it's a huge plant. It just opened a few weeks ago, right? So you should be back to work there. That's good. I think Mark Hall's fuel for Speedway. The convenience stores of Speedway. That'd be great. You know how many points I would get getting that kind of fuel? Oh my gosh, I get like 8,000 gallons a day. That would be great because every time you go in there, because that's where I filled my car up last time, just because it was on the way. If I fill up on the way to work, I go to the Speedway. On the way home, I go somewhere else, usually Family Express or the Marathon station, depends, because on my side of the road. Anyway, they're forever bothering you about the Speedy card. Do you have your Speedy Reward card? Here, have another card. Here, get another card. Like, I have a card somewhere. Have 5 more cards. They must get fired if they don't give you a card or something. Wearing a mask outside is stupid. I think fresh air is superior. It does seem kind of stupid. Okay, it's sunny, it's hot. And they want you to wear a mask all the time, other than eating, which I think is funny. That's when you're closest to people, when you're sitting down there probably. So who wants to walk around a theme park with a mask on? I mean, seriously? Is that what it's come down to? Gear Jammer's in the house. That's great. It's good to see you. Have you ever heard anything about Meadowlark Transportation? They're dribbling around the world, but no, but that sounds Meadowlark Lemon for young people that don't know who that is. Okay, Harlem Globetrotter. No, I never heard of it, though. I wonder if he owns that. Is he still living? Somebody find out if he's still alive. I feel bad saying something about it if he's not living. Greetings from Fort Worth. All right, nice down there. Whatever happened to the trucking exec, Dashcam Sam? I don't know. Is he not still out there? I mean, I seriously don't know. Columbia George in gallons. Oh, okay, right. Have you seen a Speedway that has the cafe? No, there isn't one around here. The one here is tiny. It just has the regular convenience stores. Hello from Jody. Hello from a nasty pilot in Kentucky. Yuck. Are there any good pilots in Kentucky? Kitty Ling. Hello from Texas. It's hard to breathe in the mask. Yeah, just walking around, it's hard to breathe. I can't imagine. As your kid, like you got an 8-year-old, because it's like 2 or 3 is the age limit. So you can have your 8-year-old in a mask at a theme park? Really? I don't think so. Alexander, good afternoon, humans. Yeah, that would be nice if everybody was just a person. Wouldn't it? Oh, and somebody asked me to look it up, so I did. So, this Harriet Tubman $20 bill, remember we talked about this last week? All right, so apparently, which I didn't know, a couple of years ago, this I did know, the Treasury was going to put Harriet Tubman on the 20. They were going to change all the bills, and Harriet Tubman was going to go on the 20. Now, I always thought people shouldn't be on the bills at all, on any bill. It should be Scenes from America or whatever, because people are always too divisive. There's always some kind of problem in their background. But who can gripe about Yellowstone or Grand Canyon or whatever? But anyways, I don't decide what goes on the money. And I guess they shelved the idea of putting Harriet Tubman on the bill. So there's a movement out there, which there has been for a few years, to buy a stamp, which you can buy a stamp, or you can easily find it online. And you're supposed to stamp Harriet Tubman's face over Jackson on the bill, on the 20. All right, and I saw numerous pictures of it. That's how it works. Well, so I looked it up. If you pass a bill that's defaced, is it illegal? Yes. Title 18, Section 333 of the U.S. Code. Any defaced bill, you can get a fine and 6 months in jail. You're to be arrested. So you can be arrested for just passing a defaced bill, whether you did it or not, because it's something that's obvious on the bill. And I looked that up too. And so even if you were to pass a bill that was counterfeit, like you make the bill or you get it in change is the better way to do it, and then you go to pass it, you don't know it's counterfeit, you'd still be the one arrested, and then later you'd have to say, I didn't know about it or whatever. So that's why somebody may be arrested for passing a bill that's defaced. Now, should you be arrested for that? I don't know. It is illegal. Okay, so just under the U.S. Code, it is illegal, and it's a legit arrest. Should you be killed for it? No. But that's what we were talking about, the bill with Harriet Tubman. That's the whole story of why Harriet Tubman is on some 20s. There is a movement to stamp Harriet Tubman on the $20 bills. And some are stamped with Harriet Tubman. I've never seen one passed here, but passing that bill to someone else is illegal, and you can be arrested for it. So there you go. I wanted to look that up. People said, oh, look that up. I looked it up. So the heady trucker refuses to wear a mask. If protests are okay, then I'm going to continue living life normally. Yeah, well, the thing is about the virus, it's really smart, and it knows the Constitution, and so it will not bother people that are protesting. I love it. Alexander, I'm getting a message. A message. Okay, or a massage. Maybe both. There have been several Meadowlark Lemons over the years. Really? It seems like that kind of name would be... there have been several Meadowlark Lemons on the Harlem Globetrotters. I think you and I are probably both thinking of the same person, though. Cash is King Trucking is here. Happy Monday. What's happening? Paul Vines, what's going on? Unfortunately, Formosa doesn't become real till it happens to them. That's true, right. Greetings from Stevensville, Texas. It's hard to breathe in some of the masks. I know. Even just a regular cloth mask, which I have because the company requires you wear a mask when you go in their building. I cannot imagine walking around all day with that mask on. And one that really trapped particles, it would seem like it'd be really tough to breathe outside in Florida in the heat and all that. There's no way people are going to keep that on. It just seems like it's not legit, really. Storm is named a Cristobal. Okay, right. I thought they had a named storm coming, and it was early in the season, so it's only C at the moment. So that's what the names are going this year. If you want to know all the named storms, you can look them up. There's a site that says all the names. They pick them in advance, which is pretty nice. On again, off again with the rain in Central Florida, just enough to get the bugs off, and then put them back on there. Meadowlark died in 2015. Oh, that's a shame. All right, so apparently he's no longer with us, but I guess your memory does live on, so that's good. Good morning, everyone. How's the cat doing? The cat is doing good. I don't know what happened to her. She of course, has disappeared. And let's see if I can find her over here. This is the cat here, right? She's not impressed with anything. And that's basically what she looks like right now, most likely wherever she happens to be. Probably looking at the birds. I've always filled the bird feeder up before I start here, which only lasts a day. Sunny, very windy, and 86 in Minneapolis. Wow. That'll blow all the smoke away. You'll be able to see where you're going. Trucking with Tom Bell. Some stamp Trump 2020 on the 20. I haven't seen that either. That'd be the same thing. It would be the same fine in 6 months, and you could theoretically be arrested for it, depending. I don't recommend defacing the money because it is a crime, so please don't do it. So don't deface it with a Trump stamp, with Harriet Tubman, or anything else. Kitty, that's crazy being that our government doesn't print the money. I agree. The Federal Reserve prints our money and they're not part of the government. I totally agree. The government just is supposed to coin money, right? And the printed money is from it's a Federal Reserve note, as we get into more of that, but that's true. It isn't government money, but it still is a crime to deface it. So my paper hanging skills are slipping, George Wilson. Hopefully not this kind of paper that you're not printing up. But the virus will bother people at church. Yes, apparently it knows to go in there because it's of a different persuasion. So it knows to bother you in there. You have to spread out. I always thought that was ridiculous. You have absolute, and I'm no big church person, certainly, but you would have a right to go constitutionally, but people should just go. That's the thing. So don't listen to the government. What if everybody just did something? They can't do anything to you. Obvious by all the protests. Thousands of people come out. They can't arrest everybody. Okay, go tell your government that you run the place. Wikipedia says the Harriet Tubman bill was postponed. Yeah, right. They said no, they're not doing it right then, and so they don't know what they'll do in the future. But it was proposed, and then they're not going to do it. So people have a stamp of Harriet Tubman. It looks just like her, or at least the pictures that you've always seen of her. And it stamps perfectly right over Mr. Jackson. So, but that's defacing the money whether you do it or not. So, Cash King only used defaced and counterfeit bills on out-of-state illegal transactions, of course. But the problem is when you're doing these out-of-state illegal transactions, those people don't take too kindly to not getting legitimate money. That's the problem. Chris, hey guys, in late, but I hope you're having a good day. I actually started early today, so thank you for being here. Mad Hatter, hello there. Caleb, what's going on? Kitty, some truck stops in Texas have security enforcement to make you wear a mask when you enter the store. What do you mean? Like, will they boot you back out of the place? And I would be okay with that. It's a private business. So they can say you wear a mask or you don't come inside. That's okay with me. Certainly, because it's private. But what do they do to you? What does security do? And does security have a mask on? And does it have a badge on it? That would be great. James, hello from the Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. What's happening? Your pizza could almost work as a mask. It's so thin out there. Andrew, hey, Mark, did you know the new hours of service are in effect? At least my company thought so. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought they were going into effect September 29th. Wow, your company must have some kind of intricate inside memo that the rest of us didn't get. I meant to write down massage. Oh, your back feels great. I said it because that's what it looked like, and then and thought better of it. I'm tired of the pandemic. Yeah. Well, we got other stuff now to distract us. I thought murder hornets were coming. What happened to them, too? Did they turn around and leave? What happened? Aviator trucker, some people say cab overs were cool and hip. They think they're really square. Wow. I'm going to move my paper. Yikes. Saw Western Express try to turn under the highway and hit a lamppost. That's pretty awesome. I'm sure all of you saw the Swift truck, too, in the Quick Trip, was it, or a Come and Go, one of those convenience stores, turned in the, looks like the car pumps, ran the pump over, basically caught himself on fire. That was pretty awesome. And you're right, Western Express will hire just about anybody. They're considered like a second chance company, even though they say they're not. That's the place that I send people that have a problem or a reason that they can't get hired somewhere else. It's unfortunate, but because you're not going to be treated well there. Any news about the next stimulus check? Yeah, is it dispatched? It's not dispatched, but Trump just came out just in the last few days and said, yeah, he'd be okay with another stimulus. Now, this $35,000 thing for heroes, I don't think that's coming. That seems to have gone out of there, but it does look like you might get another $1,200 per adult and $1,200 per kid up to 3 kids. So that's not bad. That might happen. That actually seems to have a better chance. Meadowlark was out of Billings, Montana. Really? He's from Montana? I didn't know that. I don't know that much about him. I just know from the Globetrotters, right? The name. What's up in Portland, Oregon today? How's it going out there? Hope it's cool. The coronavirus ran the hornets off. I guess they got scared of it. They're like, wow, this is even too much for us to tolerate. Andrew, I thought it was hilarious when they sent me the email that said, no, they are in effect. Oh, really? And opened the first page and it said not in effect until insert date here. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Here's the thing, though. What really bothers me about that is a company, unless it's just you and one other person, they'd have some kind of safety department that knows what they're talking about because they're going to eat those tickets. So they're going to eat those tickets. That's really kind of disappointing. They say May Trucking might be buying out Trans Am. Who says that? Who is saying that? Wow. Anybody here from Trans Am? What would you think about that if suddenly you become a May Trucking driver? Wow. John, religious practices were exempt from the stay-at-home orders. Church committees are the ones to make the decision to close. Well, they should all just have gone in. Alexander, USX tried to recruit me again. Why don't these people bug off? Certainly in running the worst company ever. Well, because it costs nothing, really. Once you get on a list like that, it just basically never ends. They never end on it. Murder Hornet saw the news about the rioters and went home. That's not a bad idea. They had SWAT out here for the longest time in front of Best Buy. Best Buy has boarded up their entire store. Now you can't get back in the store again. They just were letting people in. You can't. You have to check in advance and go around to a side door to get in. It's all ridiculous. What does Best Buy have to do with anything? Checking in had to go to the ER yesterday. Alex, the OTR drivers, what happened at the ER? Why did you head off to the ER? You can't just put that out there and not say what the problem is. Harriet Tubman should be a Second Amendment hero. All right. It's your constitutional right to assemble at church, not at Walmart's. I would say it's your right to go wherever you want in the United States, presumably. But certainly, they cannot make a law prohibiting a church service. That's the way I read it. I'm still looking for a good stimulus check. Did you did you not get the first check? Did everybody get their first $1,200 or whatever? I got that pretty quickly. So, Murder one that said, forget this, we're going back to China. Oh, great. Is that where they're from? I misplaced my FMCSA green book. I think the Pretoria inspection is a little exuberant for company drivers. Wow. You can pick a new one up. So, guess I went with Western Express 2 years ago, said training was a nightmare. Oh, a guy went with him. Is he still there? Is that person? Don't tell me they're still there 2 years later. And I think Western is like any other company. I think you can get good training there, just like you can get good training at May or Trans Am or any place, or you can get horrible training. A lot of that is the person you get matched up with, right? Because that's going to be the key on whether you do any good. Western could have some great trainers too, so I do think you could get good training there. Murder hunters are coming, still waiting for the killer beast. Yeah, I thought they crossed the border a while ago, and then they were coming up slowly, but never made it. Maybe they turned around. Oh, I think what they did, they made it across the border, and they made it to that checkpoint north of Laredo, and that's as far as they got. They don't have any papers. Good afternoon, Jeffrey Herring. It's good to see you. Hello, GP Transco is here in the house. It's good to see you. I got fired. Has a bad 10 days. You got fired for what? I meant to say pre-trip inspection. Oh, okay. What happened to Montfort Trucking? I don't know. I haven't seen them around. Sam, I am. Hey, Mark. Good mythical morning. It's good to see you here today. Jimmy, straighter eastbound and listening. You had chest pain, but it was epigastric pain. Heart, liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. Okay, wow. So what do they do about that? I mean, not a doctor here. Or do I play one on the radio? So what kind of thing is that, if you want to tell us, right? And what do they do about it? I assume they hook you up to all the machines and stuff. Companies should be responsible for their own equipment. I agree. And they should be responsible for knowing the law. If a company comes out and says, oh, these rules are in effect suddenly, when it's not true, that can get you a ticket. It gets them a ticket. I don't understand it. Don't any company of any size should have one person in the office dedicated to only safety? Logs and knowing all that stuff. That's all they do. And it should be a driver, really, but it should be somebody at least that studies that all the time. Big Huge Mike got his first stimulus check pretty quick. Yeah, that went in pretty fast. They didn't have him by direct deposit, so I gave him that and on a net spend card, which I went and got for them, and they deposited the money like a week later. Pretty simple. So they'll have it for any further checks too. You finally got yours of the third week of May. Wow, that took you a long time to get. Murder Hornets are doing the 14-day quarantine. Oh, that's right. They came in and then they had to quarantine because Texas is quarantining everybody that comes in from somewhere else. Oh, so they're waiting. So I wonder how many days we have left. Chris, has anyone else seen a uptake in broken down trucks on the side of the highway? Why last weekend? Do you think someone is doing something to the fuel? The Western training was horrible. The trainer and you quit. Really? I can't believe it. Why was if somebody had been there long enough to be a trainer, why were they quitting? GP Transco, we got a message on Facebook stating, look at what your driver posted. The driver spoke against looting on Facebook. I would like you to fire this driver. Thoughts? Well, did the Did the driver post that, like, saying, I'm a GP Transco driver and this is what I think? You see what I mean? Or is it like the driver posted it, are they posting it on your page as one of your drivers? Or are they posting it as themselves? That kind of thing. It's a really, that's why I tell people don't necessarily mention your company and stuff, especially when you get these kind of political posts. You can lose your job over the things that you say, because what you say may not be what the company says or want out there or whatever, and you can't speak for your company. So that's pretty good. We'll see what people think about that. I wouldn't, but I wouldn't either way personally, but I'd say, look, you can't talk like you're us, that kind of thing, You don't speak for us. Most factory and car plants didn't have any rides because the workers get paid to peaceably assemble. Oh my gosh. Are some of the Carson riders working for you now? What's the word on Magnum out of North Dakota? Yeah, I've had several people go to Magnum and like it, so absolutely. I quit my over-the-road job for a local job to get paid for all your time. That's the way to do it. Now you don't have to worry about all the time that you spend sitting around not getting paid. Alexander, I got off the phone with my dispatcher over the repairs my truck is going through, doing a 34. I told him I might buy a hooker for the night. He'd probably like, as long as you don't try to turn the receipt in, okay. And you're like, I got the $5. I'm all set. They practically brushed me off and told me I need to see a specialist. Nice. Oh, well, why not go see your own doctor? Oh, by the way, we'll bill you $6,000 for your time here. Reform ran, I was accepted in a Mavericks training last week, and the document they sent me says guaranteed $750. Yes, it did go down. And I talked about this on a few shows. Even though their website still shows $1,000, which they should change, their guarantee is $750. I don't mind if they change it, but they shouldn't advertise something different than what they're actually doing. I was just curious, why do your Sunday rants at car dealerships? Well, I like cars. I'm a big car fan, and I like going out and looking cars. And in Indiana, the dealerships are closed on Sunday. And I was actually at a car dealership that day a little later, but there's no sign there or anything. It would be just a building. So they had a Maserati Quattroporte, which I went over and looked at, and that was pretty cool. I'm a huge fan of those. Ferrari 4.7 V8 in that car, very nice. Anyway, I'm a big car fan, and I like looking at cars. I buy a lot of cars, so it just makes sense. That's where I am. Alex, over the road driver, I got my stimulus on April 15th. See, that's way better, right? What's your take on these legal plans offered? Yeah, I have the legal plan through work because they offer it at work, so it ends up being cheap. But I totally like them because, a good one, if you have a ticket that's going to give you any points, you should probably fight it. Every ticket. So a good legal plan, probably worth it. Otherwise, you pay a few $100s to fight a ticket. You never know when there's going to be some cop that writes you a ticket or something that if you would just fight it, you might be able to get out of. So I'm in, and I use our legal plan at work. So I pay for it every week. I have for many years. And at first ticket, I'll give it to them, right? We don't discriminate GP Transco against drivers based on race, gender, orientation, political opinion. Hard to say what these people expected we do. Well, some people just say, that's the problem with freedom of speech. It's for everybody. It can't just be the opinion that you like. It has to be also the opinion that you don't like. And so people get to put their opinion. All I'm saying is that if somebody posts something on Facebook, saying I'm a GP Transco driver and this is what I think then you can say, look, you don't speak for us and anything like that, that kind of thing. We went through Detroit this morning and going through Chicago this afternoon, living on the edge. Darnell, good luck. Good luck with that. Who saw The Gauntlet this week with Clint Eastwood? My wife and I got ours about 2 weeks ago as a paper check. You had to wait for a paper check, right? They come out with another one. I recommend you direct deposit in that and you'll get it right away. DA, how much for the hooker? I'm saying $5. Because, there's not that many drivers out. They said, it's harder to get hired right now. Congress and Trump confirmed that another stimulus bill is on the way. They just haven't agreed upon the terms. Enormous spending. It's huge. Huge spending. Never been spending like this. Biggest spending ever. It's going to be the best spending. It's huge. Huge. The best. Always, it's the best. But Trump did say he would be okay with another stimulus. So, yeah, I do think there'll be one more check. Just been a lot more trucks on the side of Hawaii most with blown tires. I think, because it gets hot, drivers never check their air in their tires. Okay, and so or they don't ever check their tires at all. So I think part of that, when the first hot days, you get all these pop tires, and you get a lot of people on the side of the road in wintertime with their radiators frozen and stuff. So, yeah. Christina, I just filed my taxes on Thursday. Wow. You think we still have another month? July? Yeah, why did I get fired? Yeah, I couldn't hack the 1 to 2 p.m. schedule, 1 a.m. I tried really hard, but I couldn't do it. Well, that's too bad. I mean, I'd rather you kind of quit than got fired, but the nights are a problem for some people. I'll tell you, I'm glad to be a little bit earlier because I had been leaving a lot later. For a couple days, through the Rona, my schedule's been changing. Some days I get home at 8 in the morning, and I'll tell you what, that's a long night when you're not used to it. So I'm happy to be going a little bit earlier. Murder Hornets are from Japan. How'd they get here? It seems like a long flight for a Hornet. Little tiny wings. Maverick website has changed to just weekly guarantee. Oh, right. I haven't looked in a couple weeks. It used to say 1,000. I'll say 750 is better than nothing. Any guarantee is better than nothing because if you had to sit for a week or whatever, at least you would get something. So that's certainly better. I get people sending me $300 checks. So 750 is still better. So now I'm looking hard at TMC, and unless employees own at least 30%, they are not considered employee-owned. Well, the employee-owned versus non-employee-owned, that doesn't seem to matter to the person at the bottom. It's not like you can go in and make any kind of changes or anything like that. So I don't know if that matters at all. A company that stands behind my right to express political opinion I greatly respect. I hope GP Transco keeps that up. Well, I will say most companies, including mine, say you can't speak for us. That's all they say is, you don't represent us to the media or anybody else. So that's probably what most places say. Trainer was a recent rehire. He claimed to be with them for 3 years. So he left. He must be the only person that's ever left Western Express and then went back and said, oh, I'm going to go back to Western Express. GP Transco. This was posted on a random place not related to the company, and the employee doesn't even work at GP Transco. Oh, the info in their Facebook profile, GP Transco, because they forgot to change it. Oh, okay, so that's how it came back to you. Well, then you say, look, it doesn't work here. I don't know what you guys are talking about. See, this kind of thing can just come back to bite people. I mean, when you put your employer on there and stuff, I'm just not a fan of it. Too much political, in that. Be better just to put some kind of neutral thing in there. I was late 3 times in 10 days. 2 times they gave away my run. I hate it, but I understand. Yeah, I get it. If you're late, I mean, you certainly understand why they're firing you. I just would have rather that you found something, on your own rather than leaving. But hey, we are where we are. Time to move on. Can't live in yesterdays. Big staff. Dart Transit fired a driver for a post on a Pittsburgh news site. He didn't mention the company, but someone looked up his info on his profile and they terminated his lease contract. Exactly, because he had Dart in there, right? I would never put my current employer on my site or anything like that. No way, just because of that kind of thing. Because people link it back and then boom, you're done. I'd like to know if they are allowed to do it. They probably are, or it wouldn't be in there. But yeah, so that kind of thing. Be very careful when you're posting stuff politically and have an opinion, because you can have whatever opinion you want, but that doesn't mean there are consequences. So just keep your company, if you're dependent on their check, keep them out of it. Everybody should go change their any site they have with their employer to a neutral or, something like that. I work for NASA or something. Some guy tried to bury his spouse by pouring cement in her car. He caught her cheating. She can take him to court because he has concrete evidence. Oh, man. These are getting painful. Dealerships are open in Ohio on Sundays. Yeah, some states they are. Here in Indiana, they said, religiously that they shouldn't be open because you shouldn't be doing any commerce on Sunday. It's a blue law. That's what it's called. It's from the olden days of blue laws. That's why we couldn't buy alcohol on Sunday also for the longest time. But only applies to car dealerships now. I guess it's okay to do commerce at a large box store, but not a car dealership. And they still are not open here. Actually, they could be open. The law only says you can't sell a car on Sunday. It doesn't say you can't be open. So they could be open and have you come in, just not sell you a car. Al John's Baby Metal is from Japan. Maybe I will love the Murder Hornets. Baby Metal, nice. I'm just got outside Chicago. Oh, you're going to go to your favorite place up there? Chris, how do I get in touch with GP Transco? They have a few questions. Well, here's one way right here. Right here is how you can get in touch with the GP Transco, or they'll answer questions right here while they are here. So there you go with that. My stimulus was direct deposit, but was still third week in May. Oh, I wonder why it took so long to get to your check so like that. I don't know what to say. Like as soon as I gave him the direct deposit, within a week or so, I had the money. Because it was just waiting there. I was going to get a check, and I filled the direct deposit thing in and got it. So, Alex, I got a nice cop gave me a ride back to the pilot. Uber, Lyft, and taxi didn't exist in town. Oh, that stinks. I guess they wouldn't let you take the truck over there. Best schedule is 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. with an hour for lunch. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Newspawn lowered their guarantee too. What did their guarantee go down to? July 15th is the deadline now, I think. They talked about even changing that farther, but they didn't yet. Al John, I put my 2 weeks because I knew I was at the door. My manager said he put that down. He put down that I put in a resignation. Oh, good. So you're okay at the next place. Say you resigned, which you basically did. And just, I guess, question them up front and say, look, what are my hours? Kind of thing. North Carolina racetrack held a peaceful protest at the stands while the cars practiced outrunning the cops. Nice. Advice to new drivers: when walking close to trailers, watch for metal burrs in the trailer. That's true when you're walking in between them, especially when you're doing dropping hooks like I do. The metal burrs catch your jackets and stuff all the time. Also, new drivers, do not walk close to a cattle hauler. Do it once and you'll understand that. We recently increased our driver referral bonus to $2,000 from the $1,000. That's really super good. That'll get people out there making videos, ironically. Agree. Doesn't matter. The reformed rant. It doesn't matter until you advertise that you're an employee owned when you're really not. Other than that, agree. It doesn't really matter. The ESOP is a great benefit. Yeah, it is. But other than advertising it if you aren't. But it doesn't seem to change the bottom line for drivers. Meaning companies that are not employee owned and employee owned companies, they don't seem to have, it's not like some greater pay or whatever. And you can't walk in and go, hey, I own this place. They don't care. They still fire you. GP Transco, we agree. Employees can't speak on behalf of a company, just like a company can't speak on behalf of its employees. It's a two-way street, and I think our staff understands it the way we do. Yeah, that's absolutely how most places are, right? They tell you, hey, when you work here, you don't get to talk for us. Whatever you say isn't for us. That's why I don't ever have them in my videos. I'm not speaking for them. I'm just speaking for me. Musafar, blessings to GP Transco. Mr. Wiener, love it. Hello, Mark. Just left the house heading to Pittsburgh with 7 deliveries of furniture. Wow, the sticks are still selling like hotcakes. Wow. 7 deliveries. Where's Cassius King Trucking? You must be sweating that one out going, wow, somebody else is doing deliveries? Boy. That is fair, GP Transco from the Mark of Excellence. I take issue with the cancel culture. People are insane. They'll find where you work and try to make your life miserable. That's what I take issue with. Yeah, I mean, because somebody has a different opinion, oh, they should be fired. No, that's not true. That's totally not true. That's totalitarianism. We don't do that here. Fleet Nav Systems is here. Hello, everybody. That was a pretty good show with the cop last Tuesday. I hope everybody was on there and got that. That was super interesting. We'll be here until before 2. Not around too long today, unfortunately. Probably more meetings at Fleet Nav Systems. They had a cop on the police officer, DOT on the show last Tuesday at 3 p.m. They're live every week, a couple times a week. My company doesn't have the stones to fire me. They try, but I always come back with back pay, of course. Yeah, I know, you're like the Phoenix at that place. Every time you're out, you come back and they pay even more money. Hey, Christina Jones, thanks for the question on our live stream. Oh, yeah, Fleet Nav System. That was a pretty informative show. Eddie McFadden, let's see, howdy from Northwest Montana. Yeah, what's apparently home to Meadow Lark Lemon. What's happening out there today, Rhino? Are you still finding loads? Let's see, rates are better. Flats are 2.8 loads to truck. Vans were the same, but reefer is 3.7 loads per truck on the boards. Not bad. Mystery truck of the week, James Faust. Yeah, can you name this truck? Because I'll tell you what, I couldn't. How about this? So, what kind of truck is this? And if you're right or wrong, I don't know. I don't know what kind of truck it is. Maybe it's an International or a Mack. I don't know. I mean, it's a roadway truck, so I'm not sure what kind of truck it is. Anybody got any idea what kind of truck this might be? Maybe somebody that worked for roadway? Like the top-mounted wipers, that's classic. You don't see those. Even if Newsbound's guarantee went down, most carriers do not have a guarantee. So thumbs up to them. They're a solid carrier. We still have $1,000 here at GP Transco. I agree. I mean, any kind of guarantee is better than no guarantee, where people are sending me a $300 check. I totally agree. I only have an issue, really, especially at Maverick, and maybe at Newsbound if it went down for everybody, is that when you put it out there to the world and say, all right, come and hire on here, and we have a $1,000 guarantee, which they had at Maverick. All right, so I come and work there, and now the guarantee goes down. Well, see, we had a deal. Like, I'll work here, and I get a $1,000 guarantee. So they want to change that deal, and I don't like that. If they wanted to change it for new people, that's different, but they're hiring me based on these policies right here. Will you work here? Here's what we offer you. And I go, all right, for what you're offering, I'll work there. So then once you're there, then they go, oh, you know what? We're lowering this for you. That isn't right to do. That'd be like, why don't I just say, well, I'm only going to work 4 days a week for you now? And they go, well, but when we hired you, it was for all these days. Well, I'm changing my policies. They would fire me. They'd say, no, you have to maintain what you said when you started. Well, so should the company. That's all I'm saying. What's good for them, is good for me. So goose and gander problem. That's why I don't like them lowering the guarantee for employees that are already there getting the guarantee. New people, it's a different story. But when we have a deal, we have a deal. They should honor it. I work all week. They honor their guarantee. Don't tell them not to walk next to my trailer. It's cheap entertainment. I've seen this a few times, and I've come pretty close to it. But I'm sure it's pretty entertaining. It's still a good guarantee. Simply having one is respectable. The $750 is still good because at least you're going to get something. I just don't like them changing the deal after we have a deal. It's like I see that as a contract. I'll work, you pay this. Once they change that deal, they should say, if you want, we'll take your resignation now because we can't honor our deal anymore. That's what they should do if they were a good place. Looks like a Mack to you from the Mark of Excellence. It kind of does, but I can't. It's so old I don't know. 50s? It's an orange truck. Nice. Is that an REO? Oh, did Roadway run REOs around? It doesn't seem like the kind of company that would do that. Almost looks like a GMC. Oh. Maybe. James Faust, you never drove one of those trucks? I'm surprised you don't have some kind of deal where you drove that. I don't know. It wasn't marked as to what it was other than old Roadway truck. So I don't know what it is. That truck is the Madeira cousin from the Cars movie. That's a possibility. Hogs are worse than bulls? Oh, why? Do they have better aim? That's a 53 or 54 Mack. Really? So would that be a diesel powered truck? Alexander, I've been in Jerry's now. Today's a good day in spite of truck breakdown. Ben & Jerry's is the best. New York super chunk. Ben & Jerry's is the only kind of ice cream, just like Chicago's the only kind of pizza. So absolutely. I know, wow, Bill, James Faust is stumped on a truck. That's incredible. Mark of Excellence, they should grandfather drivers in. Yeah, once you have a deal with a company, you work here, here's what you get this much vacation, your insurance costs this, you have this, we're guaranteeing this, all these things to get you to work there, and that's great. And I go, okay, I'll come in. And then, oh, you know what? Well, situations change. All right, well, I only work 4 days a week now. My situation changed. They'd be like, no, you got to have work all week. It's the same exact thing. Manveer, a GP Transco, do you guys do reefer freight or only dry vans? All right, let's see what we get out of that. Alexander, don't walk close to hog haulers. Hogs are mean when they're mad. I stay away from them. It's usually not the bad end of them that I'm worried about. Beta Bears, hello everyone. Finished unloading at Grocery Supply and heading to Laredo to pick up a load for Hershey in Illinois. Oh, is that place? I can't think of the name of that town. Right outside of St. Louis, right? Why can I not think of that right now? GP Transfer only does dry vans at this time. I'm waiting for you to put that truck up I sent you that was hauling the tank. I'll have to look for that. A lot more comes out of a bull than a hog. It's physics, right? Yes. Yes. Maybe the hog has better aim. It's about to rain in Memphis. Nice. Have you ever had the Aldi version of Ben & Jerry's? It's comparable and a quarter the price. No, I do not go to Aldi's. We have to pay 25 cents for a cart. People, well, Mark, you too good to go to Aldi's? Yes. I'm not going to Aldi's. Ben & Jerry's is delicious. And there's some things that you just can't, you can't Aldify. You can't say, well, it's a quarter the price. It's just as good. It's not just as good. Ben & Jerry's is so delicious. I would be willing to try it if someone gave it to me, but to go to Aldi, no. All down south is getting hit hard with storms. Is that the end of that tropical storm? Roadway was probably a Mac. That's what I'm thinking, right. That's what I thought, but it just didn't look like a Mac. Edwardsville, Illinois, right. Alexandria, where Hershey is. They would always give you a Hershey. At least when I went there, they would give you some kind of Hershey bar, usually a selection, at the guard shack. That's what I noticed. And the J was right down the street. That's where I would park and then go in on my time. Moving to the Gulf Coast, so I'm not looking to slip my wrist over losing my job. Yeah, look, it is what it is, right? It's you're out of there. Now we move on to the next place. No problem. Alex, thin crust or deep dish? Look, there is no thin crust. This is Chicago pizza? Thin crust. What are we talking about? Craig, getting my physical Friday since the whole COVID stuff. Oh, right. So a lot of places were closed. I guess here, from what I understand, because I asked them at work, you would have to make an appointment, and they only had so many a day they would do, so it was difficult to get a physical done right. Smoking Papa deep dish. That's the only kind of pizza there is. No, it wasn't Pontoon Beach. It was Edwardsville. Was the Hershey plant there. There's no job worth wrist purging. That's for sure. Right. Believe it or not, I went through West Memphis 2 days ago and not a single person was on the CB selling drugs. Oh, you must not have had good reception that day. You get the complete you get the quarterback. I know. Look, we've gone to Aldi's, all right? And in the wintertime, for those of you that don't know, Aldi is a grocery store. Okay, you have to bring your own bags, bag your own food at the end of it. But to get a cart, you have to put a quarter in the cart in front of you and it releases your cart. And then when you put the cart back, you get your quarter back. People, I've seen in the winter old ladies dragging carts across the parking lot to get their quarter back. Okay, because it's 25 cents. People are worried about 25 cents or dragging their cart through the snow. So you get it back, but it's not worth that to get the quarter back. As they say, you're stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. The guy in Memphis has been selling dope for the police for the police for 20 years. That's pretty awesome. Hey, everybody needs a job. You know, that's what I say. So, absolutely. I accidentally left the Ben & Jerry's in my truck freezer over the weekend and it leaked all over. Oh, you got to leave the thing running. Aldi's a bomb on certain things. I never go there. I do not. A friend of mine who's half insane, right, goes to Aldi just for bananas. It's the craziest thing. He's like, oh, I got to go to Aldi and get bananas. They're like 29 cents a pound or something. I'm like, why don't you just get bananas when you're already at the store? He's like, well, they're 49 cents a pound. So he'll save 60 cents and drive across town to go to Aldi's. Not a great plan. Just got a call from MVT, 50 cents a mile home every 7 days. Mesilla Valley Transport, is that them? They have all kinds of fuel bonuses there. I guess you can win a car and stuff. But what else is the story there? No drugs on CB in Memphis? I don't know what happened. I think there must have been some kind of reception problem. I never had Ben & Jerry's ice cream nor Chicago pizza. What is going on? You need to get that right away. I mean, oh my gosh, drive up to Chicago immediately and get both of those. Go into Chicago, go to Gino's East Pizza or Lou Malnati's and get a real pizza. A real pizza. Hello from Canada. How are things in the USA between the COVID and all the protests? Oh, it's horrible. You can't go anywhere. I saw a picture. Somebody sent me a picture of a pole hanging over a bridge attached to a chain so that it was windshield height. People were throwing stuff everywhere. The SWAT was out protecting Best Buy. And there's we forgot all about the Rona and murder hornets because I guess you don't get it if you're protesting. All the peaceful protests, burning police cars and stuff. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. I don't agree with the protests. People could say that too, right? I don't think you should be looting. Right. How about that? Don't loot. Okay, protests, I'm in. Peaceful protests, constitutionally protected. Looting, arrest. West Memphis is all about the high-speed chicken feed. Yeah. You know, they used to always say, if you don't have to park in West Memphis, don't park there. That was always a thing. It wasn't like you can't park there, but they didn't want you stopping there unless you had to. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia struck down a Chicago-style deep dish, ruling that overflowing mess of sausage cheese can't be considered pizza. Well, what does he know about pizza? Antonin Scalia doesn't know anything about pizza. He's from Italy. We're talking Chicago pizza here. I mean, that would be horrible. The Supreme Court to say that? I mean, I drag the carts back to get the money. I've gotten $10 in about an hour. Oh, no, I know that's not true, Christina, because I'll tell you what. When you're going in there, I remember going in there and going, oh, I'll take that card or whatever. People, everybody, old ladies to young people, give me a quarter before you can have that card. So there's no way anybody lets their quarter go. That's why I know for $1,200, people will do almost anything the government will tell them, because for a quarter, they'll take a cart back through no matter what the weather is. They'll drag their cart back up there. Haagen-Dazs is where it's at now. That's too frou-frou ice cream, right? I think it is. I told them no thanks. I'm not sleeping in the truck no more. Exactly. Deep dish is the best. That's the only kind of pizza that there is. That's pizza, and then everything else is, I don't know what it is. Nice side gig, hang out at Aldi's and offer to return people's carts. No, but they want you the quarterback. Are you going to start packing at 10? I'm going to need to. Does GP Transco allow drivers to have cluttered dashboards? I never understood companies. Well, probably not, and I bet most companies would say keep that clean. I've always recommended that. Don't throw a bunch of junk up there. It just gets you pulled in for a ticket, okay? Keep that clean. You don't throw that in your car. How many cars do you see with junk up on their dashboard? Keep it clean up there. I like New York style and Chicago style. Well, there's Chicago, which is pizza, and then there's whatever New York makes over there, pizza/mask. It's so thin. I canceled Ben & Jerry's because of their politics. You still can eat their ice cream. That's the thing about it. We cannot agree with their politics. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. They still make an excellent product. The house truck line for Aldi's is Black Horse Carriers, and Aldi is a German company. Aldi is a German company. I didn't know Black Horse is their carrier, but right. Aldi's a German company. And another thing about Ben & Jerry's, which not a lot of companies do, their CEO is limited in their pay, from what I remember, to a certain multiple of the lowest person's pay. It's 50 times or 10 times or something, way less than the average company. Are the rides in Chicago, Christina Jones? Do you mean Domino's isn't pizza? No, not unless it's Chicago style. Maybe we'll go there soon. Yeah, there are some problems in Chicago, but you can get it. You can get like Godfather's or something on the south side of Chicago. South side. We don't. Scared of Bigfoot, says GP Transfer. We don't, but something like that is difficult to monitor, I'm sure. Until somebody gets a ticket, right? Only drivers agree to have a driver-facing camera. Here I have one, and for those, it's hard to see the dash. It should be a policy. Probably say, look, keep the dashboard clean, but that should just be a driver's policy. How many people do you see out here? Garbage. And what did the officer on Fleet Nav Systems said last Tuesday? He said that window in the side door, he said something about it where it's like the trash meter or something, and they can look in there if they see a bunch of trash in there. He said that's a truck he's going to inspect. So I thought that was pretty good and pretty telling. No Ben & Jerry's in Louisville? Yeah, they sell it at stores around the country. So you can get it at stores around the Bluebell. Like that's ice cream. Please don't get protesters and looters confused. Protesters are peaceful. I agree. Look, you're allowed to protest in the United States, peaceably assemble by Constitution. I totally agree with that. For any reason you want, I'll support that. Doesn't matter to me. But once you steal something, no, that's a problem. And because I've read there, everybody said, well, these are all out-of-town people or whatever. Well, I'll tell you, the people I looked, so the people that got arrested in Lafayette are all from Lafayette. Not a one of them are from out of town. So it's not people coming from outside of town to do all this. It was town people, town folk, as they say. So now it's been getting better here. First couple nights pretty rough. Police are keeping it down. SWAT's running around. Kentucky opens up CDL testing on the 15th. They were doing some testing here by appointment, I guess. But that's all they've been doing here. That's still better than it was, certainly. Forgot about Lou Malnati's. They're worth it. Oh, the pizza's expensive. Look, but everything has a value and a price. Totally worth it. Lou Malnati's delicious. When we see someone bringing a truck to a shop with a messy dash, we have a productive talk. Yeah, I don't know. Don't drivers know that's going to get you a ticket? Even the officer said, look, that's going to get you pulled in for an inspection. If nothing else, it's going to waste your time. Don't throw stuff up on your dashboard. There's plenty of room in the trucks now. It's not like you only have this little bed. There's all kinds of room. Hell, John's not home daily, or I'll work on a dock until something comes up. There'll be something for you, certainly. Once you make a decision, then say, okay, I won't budge from this point. You'll be surprised at the opportunities that come for you because this is what you're focused on. Just don't back down from what you want. They leave them there. I keep my Buick and my Volvo clean. Absolutely. Right, Alexander? Cars are clean. I've got one of those car wash things where you can go all the time. So, you pay one fee a month or whatever. Cars are always clean. And same with the truck. I don't wash it that much. They come and do it every couple of weeks or something. If you don't have a quarter, you go inside and they'll give you one. Oh, tell them that. Nice. Try Chicago stuffed pizza. That sounds even better. Kenneth B., I'm here. All these days are blending together. Totally forgot today was Monday. I know. You don't. You wake up, you're like, what day is it again? I don't know. It's like, I feel almost like Tom Hanks. I'm talking to a volleyball. I can hate some politics, but love some products. Exactly, right. I can write him a letter and say, look, you guys are goofballs, but I love your ice cream. It's so good. Haagen-Dazs is an American company. The founder wanted a European flair to the name to honor their ancestry. That's super great. But nobody can beat the Haagen-Dazs ice cream for what it is. And I can't do the umlauts. So we're going to have to stick with Ben & Jerry's. No driver facing camera. Hate the things. I don't mind the ones facing out front. I run a dash cam and look, especially now. Oh my gosh. If you do not have a dash cam, go get one. I sell one on my site there. It's an Amazon camera, right? It's the one I use. I got it free. I bought 2 more for my cars. I like it. If you don't want to buy it for me or get it there, that's fine. Go get one and run it, because then there's no question about what is happening around your truck. Please get a dash cam as soon as possible and use it all the time. Your Qualcomm went out. That's super unusual. Are you in the caves in Missouri? Nothing better than coal-fired Brooklyn pizza. For what? James, I don't know what it would be good for. I think we just we're going to have to disagree on pizza. Dashcam Sam, I got my raise at my company, 0.567 cents. That's a weird amount. Why 0.7 of a cent per logged mile? That's so weird. I eat Purple Cow ice cream. Oh, that's Meyer brand. I appreciate that. Oh, GP Transco is now doing all driver orientation at the new headquarters. That's nice. It's awesome to see drivers playing basketball on a break. Drivers seem to love the new terminal. That's super good. So is it fully open and operational up there? And I saw that they're delaying your Tesla now to 2021. That's what Tesla said about the Semi, so that's disappointing. And do you have a charging station hooked up there, or are you building one? Looters are harming innocent businesses and innocent people. That's true, right? And it doesn't help the cause. Even if the cause says, look, it's none of us doing this looting, okay, they're not helping the cause anyway, because people are going to link the two together anyways. What are flatbedders seeing as rates? I don't have a rate. I didn't get any rates for that this week. There wasn't anything on there, but just the truck-to-load ratio. All the officers near George Floyd's death were charged, so I think this is Will Chill Out. Yeah, absolutely they were charged, right? You can't just stand by while something wrong is happening and say, well, they told me to do that. That's how we get in problems. Make a decision. If you ever haul Ben & Jerry's, you get free ice cream any size in the driver's lounge. Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be like Faygo, except delicious. Faygo used to give you stuff to drink all the time in Detroit area there. We used to have Wise Guy pizza, Al John's, whatever that is. They were so Chicago, they had Vienna Red Hots. Oh, nice. Pizza, they look like a casserole dish. That's super great. They were authentic. You didn't tip, you got mugged. Of course, hey, they give you a good offer there. Godfather's is good pizza, delicious. Chicago pizza, go to Aurelio's. Oh, okay, yeah, in Homewood, that's on this side too of Chicago. Aurelio's, another great Chicago pizza. Then get Zell's on the way back when you leave, headed back home. Get a bunch of Zell's to take back with you. The bizarre deep dish offering calls for vats of tomato sauce to be poured over cheese. Yes. Before it's then baked in the boiling monstrosity. It's not pizza, it's a casserole. It's delicious. That's what it is. Robert, New York style's the best, especially if you put garlic on it. And the bigger slices, you can fold it perfectly. Yeah, who wants to do that? Fold a pizza? What is? It's not a newspaper. Come on. Fold a pizza. That's crazy talk now. I think you got stung by one of those murder hornets. Haagen-Dazs, Ben & Jerry's doesn't matter. $7 a pint at the truck stop. Look, Haagen-Dazs is worth it. It isn't the cost. It's the value of something. This motivation money. Don't always buy the cheapest thing. Stop buying cheap things. Okay? Value yourself more than that so that the things you want, you buy the things you want, not the cheapest thing. When you want something, go buy it. That's motivation Monday, right? It doesn't matter what it costs. Go buy it because it's worth it and you're worth it. How about that? So Haagen-Dazs, Ben & Jerry's, whatever it is, $7, slap it down, take it out. Oh, in the Virginia mountains, it's so unusual for Qualcomms to go out. A Brockway, I don't think so. I'm going to say no to Brockway, but maybe. Brockway usually said Brockway on it, didn't it? I don't know about that. But I don't know what kind of truck it was. It wasn't labeled with the kind of truck, so I have no idea what it was. There's no way for me to know what it is. Charles, all this talk about pizza, I think I know what I'm having today for my birthday. Oh, that's awesome. 21. That's great. Birthday pizza. Dash cam Sam. I'll leave that one, right? Driver facing camera will make me famous one day. I know. You're on them so often. I don't look at this. On a look at this clown video that was filmed by a driver facing camera. You're on it all the time, you said. If you're confronted by rioters, don't stop. The best thing I can recommend is you shouldn't go into city where it's going down. If you can avoid it. I agree. Look, if you see you should be running traffic and stuff all the time. Check every day what's going on. If you see problems, avoid it. I totally agree with that. If it's not safe, don't go there. Tell your company, look, it isn't safe. I'm not going, and it's just not safe. James, some guy said I rear-ended him. I pointed to the camera and he took off. Perfect. That saved you an accident on your record and everything. Well worth it. The Asako camera I use is about, I think they sell for $90 on Amazon, something like that. You can get a little bit cheaper cameras. Remember, don't go too cheap because you want a high enough resolution to be able to read the plate and stuff like that. So absolutely well worth it. We ran into Red Monkey Trucking last week. Oh, nice. Super nice and professional team of drivers. Glad to have them. I'm glad that they're doing good there and that you were able to get them on. So it's hard to get teams, and these two are good people. Rhode Island pizza is trash. Rhode Island pizza. Well, I can't wait to get some of that Rhode Island pizza. I can't imagine what's on that. Nancy's Pizza is pretty good. I never heard of Nancy's. Imo's Pizza, whatever that. Tastes delicious. I never heard of that place. See, these are local places. Only LTL company can find where I'm moving is Saya, so I'll probably have to work the dock. Look around, just type in logistics, that kind of thing. They're like Hogan and all these other logistics places. There's tons of smaller logistics places too. Like here in town, there's a company, I can't remember their name. Well, I need my ginkgo biloba. Anyhow, they haul trailers for Wabash National. That's all they do, and they're only right here. And so there may be something like that there for you. All they do is deliver new trailers. So, and I think they're home every day, every couple days. Anyhow, there's stuff like that around everywhere. There's something for you. The concrete joke was funny. Yikes. Never had Chicago pizza. Is it that good? Yes. It's the only kind of thing that there is. It's Stromboli inside out. Yeah, exactly. Well, Bill, there's a place in Crestwood on Cicero at 135th advertising the world's largest pizza slice. I don't know why you don't have a video up about that. On your day off, you need to go up there, get it, and do a video about it. You do not pizza with silver? You don't have to in Chicago style. Happy Roller Wiener Monday. Hey, good to see you here. Fleet Nav Systems is here, headed out for the day. We'll see you on the live show tomorrow. I hope to be on there because it's my time changing. But anyway, they have a live show on Thursday at 3, Tuesday at 3. They're not on Thursday. And Friday at 3. They should also be on Thursday. So Tuesday for drivers, Friday for admins. But drivers are welcome to listen. And you can call in. I still can't afford her. Can't go wrong with pizza. Where did I go off to here, right? And Taco Tuesday, exactly. Anyone else have Oberweis dairy ice cream here? Oh, I never heard of that either. Is there a thing? Here's the thing in Maverick's new guarantee. That's interesting. They're saving a lot by doing. Are they saving a lot by doing it? Enough to offset the negativity? And if so, it indicates an issue with loads and financials. Well, look, it got slow for everybody. It's not. I can't just pin that on them. And the negativity, I don't know if anybody quit over it. People get mad about stuff, but they are unwilling to change their own situation to better their lives. by changing their situation. They want some kind of outside force to change their situation rather than, doing it themselves. So does it hurt their case? Not that much. And are they saving something? Probably. It's a lot easier to pay everybody $750 than to pay them $1,000. But I think GP Transco's right in that it's still a guarantee. It's still something. And you weren't under the $1,000, I guess, since you're just starting. My problem was with reducing people from $1,000. But yeah, it's going to save money. And hopefully in the future it goes back up to $1,000. That's the hope, right? That's a good question to ask them. Maybe you could ask them that. Hey, it used to be $1,000. Are you going to go back to $1,000? See what they say about that. Get that in writing. I get free Breyers ice cream because my sister-in-law works at the plant. Oh my God. I wouldn't be able to get out the door if anybody worked at an ice cream plant. Air Gunner Bob, thank you very much. Hello, everyone listening from I-94 westbound to Chicago with a load of steel. Oh, going to Ryerson? I used to go up there all the time. Thank you, and it's good to see you today. Chicago pizza is king. Everything else is subpar. You fight me. I know, Alexander. There's no other. That's pizza, and all these other things are. I don't know what they are. Rhode Island has some pizza places that surpass even New York. Well, okay, big, huge Mike. I guess I don't know what that says though. I mean, that doesn't say much. Nancy's is a local pizza chain all around Chicago. Really? I've never seen it. Frankly, don't trust Maverick after things I've heard and seen. Well, the new Mark of Excellence, don't forget the 2021s at Maverick are going to have driver-facing cameras, as they showed in their own video. Cameras all around the truck and everything, so that's only on the new trucks. They're not retrofitting the old ones. That's something else to consider, because they'll be mandatory there. You won't be able to get out of them. It's something you should at least ask them about if you're considering going there. Heard new Beavis and Butthead cartoon. They go truck driving school. Can you picture those two trucking? Oh my God. I can't picture those two doing anything. Kelly is here. I like Bellagio's pizza out of Lake Oswego, Oregon. A large deep dish will run you $40. Nice. Well worth it. The large typically weighs 13 pounds. Now that's a pizza. That must have been somebody that used to live in Chicago that's going to go out there to bring good pizza to the masses. I had a taco pizza the other day. It was awesome. That wouldn't be a deep dish, but that sounds not too bad. It's almost like combining a couple days in one. James, I see protesters, I turn immediately. They're all over Brooklyn. New York City is a hot spot for this, and it's super dangerous. So, people protesting is one thing. Blocking a street, again, that's something illegal. That's not allowed. So that's where I draw the line. Protesting, yes. Illegal things, no. Is that fair enough? That seems to be fair enough. I'll support everybody's right to protest, no problem. Okay, you have the right to peaceably assemble and petition the government for redress of grievance, First Amendment, right? Blocking streets, what I've seen police cars burning and stuff. No, we don't do that. And that certainly doesn't help your cause, certainly. I've hauled ice cream before out of U.S. cold storage, Alexander. Oh, right. We're on teams with Beavis. Yeah, Chicago pizza is no roller wiener, no doubt. Can you imagine that thing rolling around in there? Oh, that'd be great. Alexander, ice cream loads get seriously locked up with me. They're expensive loads. Yes, not like Similac though, but Ben and Jerry's load would be pretty expensive. I was raised around Sicilians, not Italians. Well, nobody's perfect, as they say. Best tasting ice cream ever. We speak on behalf of all GP Transco. GP Transco speaks on behalf of themselves. Barstow's the armpit of California, yes, but the large, isn't that where the large thermometer is? All this talk about pizza is making me want they should have pizza roller wieners. Where are those going on? Big Huge Mike, Newport Creamery is really good ice cream, and they have a thing called an awful fantastic. That's a pretty lofty statement. I'll stick with Ben and Jerry's, Alexandra. Ben and Jerry's, it'd be tough to beat that. It's the best ice cream going. How do you see those drive cams you use, Eddie McFadden? Okay, so a drive dash cam like the Asako, and I assume all of them are like this, okay? They have an SD memory card in them. Okay, so anything, I can put the SD memory card into the computer here and download videos from it. Or you can watch it right on the screen of the camera. Like, so you get pulled over and the cop goes, oh, you ran that red light. Well, you can pull the video up right there, because mine, I have a 64 gig card in it, and it saves up, it says about 6 hours and 15 minutes before it starts overwriting itself. And I have it save itself in 3-minute intervals. Okay, so, but it has over 6 hours of driving on it. So you go through that light and he pulls you over. You go, well, let's take a look at the video right here. So you can watch it right there on the camera, on the screen of the camera, or you can download it to any device that will accept an SD card. All laptops, I have a little adapter that goes in this thing, and you can watch the videos here, save them. If you press a button on the camera, it'll save that 3-minute segment so it doesn't overwrite it. So that's how you do it. Some fancier ones that get into the 3 digits, $150, they have a connection to your phone, and you can view it that way and have videos downloaded to the cloud and stuff. Mine doesn't do that. So there's lots of ways to do it. But as long as you get a large SD card, you can double that card and save a whole day video, a whole day of driving on one card. So it's easy to pull it right back up. Manual, is Pan Company closing? I heard from someone that does YouTube. Are you talking about Pam, or what is Pan Company? Oh, it'd be great if Pam was closing. Little Caesars is the best. Let's argue. Pizza. When you can get 2 pizzas for $5, I mean, Robert, New York is the best. Not for pizza. Maybe for some things. I want a Cascade large car with chicken lights and chrome. That'd be super fun. As long as you're not paying for the fuel, you're all set in it, I guess. Or you get enough per mile, right? As far as delivery pizza, I like Marco's Pizza and Deluxe Uno's the best. Yeah, Marco's is here, and that's not bad, too. I get to head to Rogers, Minnesota through Minneapolis, Jonathan. As long as you're there during the day, it doesn't seem to be a problem there, right? So, and those other officers did get arrested, which I think they should have been, okay, as well. So, absolutely. I had a broker tell me today I'm way over the market rate. Said I thought it was a free market. Yeah, he's not over the market. That's what you charge. That's the thing. That's your price. Stick with it. I agree. Tell the broker he's way under market. I'm demanding a second driver-facing camera just in case of malfunction of the first camera. Pretty soon, the way you are there, your whole windshield just going to be cameras. May Odin protect me. We're going to need that. Put the Thor back on Thursday. A 1950 white Freightliner. Do you think it's a Freightliner, really? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Maybe. There was no information about it. I kind of lean towards Mac on it. Got a dairy close to me. I deliver hay. Let's my wife come and get milk, butter, and cheese. Hopefully it's already made. He goes, it's unmade cheese. Here's just more milk. Minneapolis vote to disband their police force. Alexander, they are talking about disbanding the police force in Minneapolis and doing what they're calling community policing. Yes, I did read that. So that's a great idea. I recommend everyone there buy a gun or move. Really, we shouldn't need a police force if you really think about it, right? There shouldn't need to be a police force. If everybody would just treat everybody nicely, we wouldn't need a police force. How about that? The Bullhorn Bulldog, love watching your conversations, but brother, Chicago pizza is nasty. What? Who wants pizza you have to eat with a knife and fork? Who's going to hold your beer where you're cutting it? Oh, well, there's people there to do that for you. And if you're really brave, you don't need a knife and fork with it if you're super brave about it. But yeah, I mean, it's so good. You've obviously not had the pizza. Now, Minneapolis is trying to defund the police department. Yes, for community policing. Education, not incarceration. I saw that on the sign. Which is actually not a bad sign. I always drive the older trucks, no driver-facing camera, just forward-facing. Well, the truck age doesn't matter. Lytics has a system for everybody. They can put that camera in this old roadway truck. No problem. As long as it's got power, that's all it needs. A&W in Smithfield, Rhode Island has the best root beer floats. They make their root beer in-house. We had an A&W here. There's a small one with the Long John Silvers, but there used to be an A&W drive-in. You could get a frosty mug and everything. Yeah, very good. Michael, New York style pizza is king. Deep dish is fifth wheel grease. Are you kidding me? I think has everybody, it's summer, so the heat is getting to everybody. Maybe people have the Rona. Baker, California. Oh, all right. It's out there somewhere in the middle of no place. They have the gigantic thermometer, the world's largest thermometer. You know the music group REO? Yes, I've heard of them. Saw them in concert. Wild Bill, Oberweis produces milk fresh and does not add preservatives, so you have to drink it in a day or two. Okay, so fair enough. I mean, fresh milk, got it. I don't drink milk, so I haven't had milk since I was a teenager. Of all things. Do I know REO Speedwagon? Yeah. The Awfuls are some awesome. They sound horrible, but it's the best thing you'll ever try. I'm waiting to try it. Truck stop pizza. Well, that's not the greatest. I'll give you that. Bluebell's the best ice cream. I'm sticking with Ben & Jerry's. They got a brand name from a fire truck, REO Speedwagon. True story, yep. What's the stupidest purchase you've ever made? Oh my gosh. That could be a lot of things. I bought tons of stupid stuff. Well, will I get mine fresh, no additives? It'll last 2 or 3 days. Cold milk doesn't last long in your house. It would last forever here. I don't drink it. I'm more of a Teletti gelato. Nice. That sounds a little bit high class. I want to drive a fully restored 67 Diamond T with all the modern features. So you want like a resto mod of it. Because there's a company, they used to be in South Bend. They would take classic cars from the 60s and rip the whole drivetrain and everything out of them and put all new crate engine, all brand new warranted stuff in the car, air conditioning and everything, all upgrade the car. I thought that was a great idea. Kelly, the Ukrainian police force was so corrupt that they disbanded it and rehired. No one was formerly a police officer could apply. Wow. Well, but they're putting more police back in where those police were. 30 years ago when I was pulling a reefer, Tony's Pizza Plant in Salina, Kansas, let all the drivers eat free pizza in the break room. That's pretty good. Pepperidge Farms in Ohio gave us free cookies. Oh, that's nice of them. At least they remembered that. Of course, Pepperidge Farm does remember. Petra in Albert Lee, Minnesota has a Cold Stone Creamery. A Darnell. That's good. And we have one of those here. That's very good. If they do the same thing like here, they have that Cold Stone thing, roll it out. Very good. Pizza homemade from scratch is always the best, especially from an old lady from the old country. Yeah, it's hard to find those people. Where do I find an old lady? So I don't know where to do that. If protesters block my right to travel, I'll just take them out like bowling pins. That's not a great idea. Anyway, my full coverage insurance will cover my damaged bumper. We can't just randomly run people over, I think. How do you feel about the tanker driver that drove through the protesters? He got on the highway legally. They didn't charge him. Of course, they're not charging the protesters either, if you saw that, for the beating him up. Okay? So, and he actually said, I don't want them charged. You can't just run through people. But the way he was coming around the corner, if he stopped right away, I didn't see the whole video. So running people over purposely, not great. Okay. Even if they're on the highway, they don't have a right to be on, but you can't run people over because they're somewhere that they don't have a right to be. So I want a 2020 large car glider kit casting with the driver facing camera, 10 Ford. Nice. You can get that. A lot of companies will give you that. Mark, a newbie here. Where do drivers park their trucks when they don't have up any place at home to park? It will be a problem I start driving. They park it at the terminal. Wherever the terminal is, leave the truck there. So that's why I always recommend people, if you can, work at a company that's got a terminal close to you. So you can leave the truck at the terminal. Leave it for them. I'd rather do that personally. That way they can fix it and do oil changes and stuff while you're home also. And you're not responsible for it. But if you don't have anywhere to park it, leave it at the terminal. Now, the problem is where the terminal's 300 miles away. Then you have a real problem. Some places you can pay to park. There's paid parking around the country where you can pay to park it, but the company may not pay for it. Jeffrey, newsflash, no roller wieners available at Love's. Noticed this just last few days. Well, this picture that I got here, this was sent in by an astute viewer from a Love's. So this is a Love's picture right here. From what I remember. This are roller wieners available for your perusal and inspection. Year one did that with the 77 Bandit Trans Am. Yeah, that's a great idea. I always thought that was a good idea. You pick your classic car, but put all modern parts in it. So it starts every day. You're not changing points on it, right? You modernize the brakes, put air conditioning in it, all new electronics. Yeah, and you still get an old car. Great idea. Okay, Edward G., question for GP Transco. Do you run all 48? Will they consider the region that you live in? Well, let's see if they have regional. Can we have community DOT officers? That would be great. They could go out there. Look, this officer that was on Fleet Nav system was great, answering questions for everybody and stuff. I really liked it. Freezer pizza from Walmart is better than the Chicago deep dish. I don't think so. Community DOT policing. You can rent parking from other trucking companies, Jeffrey. Yeah, you can go talk to places that have parking. Usually, a company wants you to have a secured spot if it's not at your house. So, sometimes they even make you take pictures of it and send it in. It's possible to do. You're better off leaving it at the truck terminal. You're way better off doing that. But it's certainly possible to do it if you don't have anywhere to park. George Wilson Trucker AK is a progressive young man coming up in the industry. Okay, I don't know who that is, I guess. Michael, they were saying big box stores, they say, are leaving Chicago about looting. What do you think? I doubt that. They're not going to just leave Chicago because they're being looted temporarily. So there's too many people. There's millions of people there. They're not going anywhere. Like Best Buy just changed what they do here, where you have to go get an appointment and go to the side door and be checked in and go through metal detector and all that stuff. Ray's Pizza is the best. Was in Manhattan. Oh, that'd be something I probably would never get then. They have the roller wieners in Indiana, but not in Ohio. Oh, okay. I think this picture they said, if I remember, was from Michigan. So, which I was surprised considering the way the governor locked the state down. Gear Jammer here. If you drive for TMC, the mechanic sees your bed isn't made while moving your truck, you get fined $50. Is this true? I don't know how the mechanic would see your bed isn't made while it's moving. But what TMC has always done, and what a number of drivers have written into me about, is when you're at the terminal and you're getting like a service done, and you take the truck then and they inspect it, they don't just inspect the truck for damages, they inspect it for cleanliness. And if the truck is not in showroom condition, okay, they take it back out and make you clean it. And then you go back in. They don't fine you. Nobody has said that they fine you. But it's sort of a fine because the time that you spend re-cleaning the truck to their standards is not paid. And I'm all for keeping the truck clean. Okay, I don't think you should trash the trucks. They're expensive and it's not your truck. But showroom condition and clean is another story. That's a totally another story. So I think it's too much. I wouldn't agree to it personally. But that's what they do there. I've never heard of anybody getting fined, though. And I don't know how they would see it when you're driving. They send a mechanic with you. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, the bed has to be made. The truck needs to be in showroom condition all the time. And remember, TMC is an employee-owned company, as many people that like it write to me and say. So this is an employee-owned company doing this, making the people that own the place work for nothing to clean a truck that won't be traded in for years. They could just detail the truck when they go to clean it up for a couple of $100 and be done with it. I look at it enough when I'm working. I don't need to see it in my driveway on my own time. Preacher Paul. That's another story of it. But, I don't want the responsibility of it sitting there when I'm not driving it, really. I just don't. I'd rather they took care of it. And plus, if it needs work, then they can work on it when you're at home. Say, here's what it needs. This 10 things, get these done before I get back. What would it take for you to shave your beard? A large donation to a charity. Scared of Bigfoot, so I would for charity. What about a cat break? Oh yeah, I think that would be great. Let's see who I have here. Where'd it go? Right here. How about this cat, whose name I don't know? Right, there's a cat that somebody who is on will know, but I don't know the name of that cat. All right, he's looking at something, not me, as usual, typical of a cat. Probably already had its lunch. Let's defund the police. The best idea ever. Yeah, Alexandra, sure. Hey, let's just disband the police force. I've always thought we shouldn't need police. I mean, why do we have to have police? Why are people not just treat everybody well? How about that? Can't we all just get along? How about that? I'm lucky with that. My brother-in-law and sister own a logging company, so I park in the lot. Kelly, so you have somewhere to park. They don't mind you parking there. It's all great. Not everybody could park, and I think that, for me anyway, I want them to work on it when I'm at home. I always wonder why big truck companies neuter their trucks to 62 or less, or any other speed under the road limit. Don't they understand those drivers still do 62 and a 45? They do, because it seems to me the slower trucks are the ones going fastest through construction zones. So there's construction zones, and these trucks are speeding to try to make up time. But I think they would probably speed anyway. I think the person that speeds in a construction zone is going to speed on the road. And like out west, can you imagine 75, 80 miles an hour? How much fuel is this company going to use? It's the thing, would you rather take a 10-cent pay cut to run through, have a truck get 5 miles to the gallon? Why are we not seeing people block the DOT inspection station? I have no idea. I don't know. Why do people not stop working for a company that has, 25 hours a week of unpaid time and block that place up and say no? That's what they did at Jaguar Transportation in Mexico. Do you remember that? When Celadon closed, they went bankrupt, sent everybody, right? We all know the whole story. Well, Jaguar, which is a division of Celadon, they blocked that place. You couldn't get in, couldn't get out of that place until they paid everybody. And those guys got paid. They blocked the whole place up. TMC needs in-bunk cameras to monitor the bed condition at all times. Well, Bill, I wouldn't surprise that they don't do that. Oh, her name is Princess. Oh, that's pretty good. I love it. Robert, how about a dog break? Yeah, that'd be great. I don't have a dog. So if anybody has a dog, look at your dog right now for about 10 seconds. I donated $25 to the State Trooper Fund. Does that count? No. No, that would be an interesting thing for Christmas. For maybe the St. Christopher Fund. Or a cat charity or something to that effect. Flying J Pizza is better than Chicago deep dish pizza. Flying J Pizza, is it even pizza? I mean, I remember getting, pizza for like $7 there or whatever. GP Transco, we run over the road and all lower 48 states. Your home time depends on the amount of freight customers we have near where you live. You would know your home time before starting to drive here. So depending on where you live, depends on your home time. That's another good question since that was asked. Can a GP Transco driver take their truck home with them? And is it just the truck or truck and trailer? That's an interesting question because I have had a few people talk to me about taking the vehicles home here recently because companies are asking them to take them home and don't have, because there's so many vans in their yards from less freight, which is somewhat ironic. Hey, can you take your truck home? So what does GP Transco do about taking the truck home? George Wilson, I was at a company that issued driver kits. They included grease guns, and they showed us how to do the grease job. Huh. Did they pay you to grease the truck? How about that? And I was at a place that had automatic greasers. It was a Freightliner Classic XL. It had automatic greases on it, and they're horrible. It's a mess, I thought. They just made a huge mess. Because they would fill up some kind of tube. They filled it up. Then it would, every once in a while it would spray grease, and it had holes in the fifth that would come out of there. What a disaster. But did they pay you to grease the truck? I'm going to say no. I park in an old World War II air base in my hometown, free parking next to vintage planes. Oh, that would make for great, that'd make like a great Instagram picture too. Alexander takes your truck home. But you have somewhere to park it. Do you take the trailer too? Wild Bill would consider a haircut for charity. All right. Yeah, look, for charity, you would do anything, right? I'd do that. I'll go bald for charity. For the right charity and enough money, I'm in. Right, absolutely. If you need to do a detox pizza and coffee for fun, Jay should do the trick. Now, that might be something that would be good for. I live in Oregon, and so far, so good. I park my trucks at my shop. Yeah, Ryan, you probably have parking for your trucks. And do you make the drivers park them there, too, or can they take them home with you? Or, I don't know. We have a few drivers, so do they live near the shop there? Some people will travel hundreds of miles. I remember that. Guys like, well, I'm going home. I'll be home, in 6 hours. Like, who would drive 6 hours to go to work somewhere? GP Transco drivers can usually take their truck home unless they need to be home for like a month, in which case we have them turned in or we would recover it until the driver starts. Okay, so I got it. So that's good. If they have somewhere to park it, they could take it home. All right, I'll let people know that too if they ask. Wow, Bill, you're already bald. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Drop the trailer at the mixing plant in Southport. I take the bobtail home in Westfield. All right. Look, if the company allows it, I'm in for it. Right. And you want to do it? TMC will fire if you do not keep the truck washed. Yes, Robert. There's some kind of policy. I don't remember how often, once a week or once every 2 weeks. I don't remember what it is, but you're supposed to wash your truck. I mean, and by the end of that week or at the end of that time, you have to stop and wash the truck. Even if it's raining, even. It has to be washed. And I think that to be a waste of time and ridiculous too, but I don't like it. But that's their policy, and they're upfront about it. So if you go there, you can't really complain about it, right? You're there, they're pretty clear about it. George Wilson, they added $20 at the, all right, for greasing the truck. All right. They'd get $20 of work out of me for greasing the truck then. I'm in. If they're paying, I'll do it if they'll pay. Cornbread, stay away from companies with more than 5 trucks. Most likely to get more money, more freedom, and treat it right. Really? So here's Stone, what's the name of this? Stone Trucking in Oklahoma. They closed. They had 13 trucks. They just closed their business up completely. Now, does that mean that all companies like this close? No. But because a company has a certain number of trucks, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good or bad. The smaller companies have less benefits. That's the thing. You may get treated better, maybe maybe not, but they have less benefits. And so depending on what benefits you want or need, the larger the place is, the more of them you get. Like, I'm at a large place, I get a lot of benefits. People at this place with 13 trucks, it's doubtful they had the level of benefits that you get at a larger company. It is a benefit when you're at Swift, when you're even at May or TMC. It's a large place. They have a whole list, a whole page of benefits that you get. A place with 5 trucks, no. They're not going to have health and dental and life and all. They don't have all these benefits. They can't afford them. So it just depends what you want. I would quit for charity as long as the money goes in my account. Darnell? Yeah. Okay, right. For enough money, I'll quit. How about that? For $1 million donation, I'll say that right here. And $1 million to me, so split it, 50-50, $2 million. $1 million to St. Christopher, $1 million to me. I will quit my job. On air. On air. Money first. It was the dump truck company I was at. Okay, that's so unusual. Especially in winter in the northern states. Right. I try to stick with medium companies. We have about 250 drivers, Alexander. So you have a place, 250 drivers, you're doing millions and millions of dollars of business. I mean, that is no small place. So then you're going to get benefits. Because I think it's important. Pricing insurance, which I've done, is super expensive. The last I looked, which was just a few weeks ago for somebody else, they said insurance. I looked it up. It's around $1,800 a month or so, $1,850 a month for me and the wife to have the health insurance plan that I currently have. I mean, you're looking at over $20,000 a year just for the health insurance. That's expensive. Buy your own benefits. Okay, you can. They're very expensive. All of our spotting trucks have self or auto grease systems. It's probably not a bad idea on a spotting truck because you are dropping and hooking constantly. But this one, it seemed like it would grease it way too often, and then there was grease build up everywhere. You'd have to go with like a putty knife and scrape it off every week. There's so much of it. Medium-sized carriers, says GP Transco, are the way to go usually. You get a lot of freight, dedicated customers, better technology, benefits, and you might not be treated as just a number. Yeah, you have the best of a larger place, so you can get some dedicated places and technology and a newer truck, which sometimes matters, and benefits, and you're still not a number, although which is not a problem for me, but I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't mind that. I don't care. I would suggest that everyone watching find something specialized. You get much better trucks? Maybe. Probably twice the pay minimum. That's probably true. Cattle, milk, or flats, anything under 60 cents a mile is slave labor. You can do better and specialize, but then when you specialize, you can be down like Pam. 40% of their business was automotive. Bingo, they're done. We do our own services whenever maintenance. We can stop at my shop. I've got all my granddad and great-granddad shop tools along with mine. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see all those old tools. Edward G. I do not have my own authority, but I have my own truck. Question is, does GP Transco lease on owner-operators? Well, GP Transco is here to answer your question. The benefits that you buy on your own are often better than what the companies offer. Well, I looked for a health insurance plan that was similar to the benefit that I get at work, in deductible, in total out-of-pocket and stuff, and I was over $1,800 a month just for the health insurance plan. And I pay a total of about $130 a week for health, dental, life, short-term, long-term disability, and legal service. Okay, that's for 2 of us. Okay, with a very low deductible, nothing to see the doctor, stuff like that. So that's expensive. I think I'd have to spend $20,000 plus out of my pocket. So I'd have to, just going somewhere else, I need an extra $20,000 in pay just to be even with what I am now. That's something to think about. So somebody's already given me another $20,000 a week just to even where I'm already at. Because of the benefit. The benefit is worth something. Being a drug mule makes the best pay. Oh, it can. It can. Got to be careful. You don't want to get jostled around a lot, though. Alexander, the people know you by name. It's nice. It's a lot of people like that. I don't care. They can just call me, number 612 or whatever. I don't care. And generally, when I go in, there's nobody there anyways. It's nighttime. There's pros and cons to small, medium, and larger companies. Yeah, absolutely. Small place, they know who you are. Right here, they have no idea. I've been there longer than office people. Cornbread, your health insurance is $670 a month, and you can go to any hospital. Well, I can go to... That would be pretty inexpensive. That's a third of what I looked up. where I'm going, seeing the same doctors, everything. I'm comparing because I'm saying, what is the plan? What does it cost? What does it cost to get the plan that I have? And basically, that plan is a little over $1,800 a month just for the health. I would then have to buy dental. I would have to buy long and short-term disability, which is expensive on your own as well, and a legal plan, which is not that much money. What happened to companies like Campbell 66 that were always humping to please? Oh my gosh, those trailers, the humping to please trailers. I should find a picture of those. I haven't run across that kind of thing in a long time. Does everybody remember the humping to please trailers? Those were really something out there. So what do people think about the ATRI cost study that I talked about on Sunday? So what the American Transportation Research Institute wants everybody to do is send in all your information about all your costs. Like, what is driver's salary? What is your running cost? What is your cost per mile? And break it down. What is your fuel cost? They said they want it all sent in, and they're going to do a big study and come out with, they do this every year apparently, all the different costs and that. And the ATRI, the problem is, the ATRI is part of the American Trucking Association Federation. So all that information you're basically sending to the ATA. And they can go, all right, here's exactly what the costs are across the board of all these companies. Now we know exactly where we can underbid people or where we can underpay people. They know exactly everybody else's costs, and people are going to send it in. There'll be trucking companies that'll be like, oh yeah, let's send all that in to them. I think that'd be a great idea. I've got a humping to please trailer from the 60s, maybe not sure, but it's a cool piece. I keep tires on it. Really? Send that in. You got a picture of that thing? That'd be pretty good. George Wilson, they had a terminal in Chicago on Cicero near 39th Street. Really? The humping to please, I haven't seen those bases since I started driving. I remember being around early, very early, but those days are fuzzy, believe me. Busted wallet garage. That's pretty good. When I went to go work for the state, they told me I'd make $55,000 a year. Then I found out they counted $1,500 of that in benefits, $15,000 in benefits. Yeah, well, you'd have to buy it otherwise. So it's one way to think of it. But I agree. Making 55 is in your pocket. 55. GP Transco, we do exactly that. If you don't have your own authority, you can drive with GP Transco as an owner-operator under their authority. 80%, you get 80%. No fees, no trailer fees and ELD fees and all that stuff. So there you go. You can slap their stickers on your truck and go to work. I think that's how it works, right? Cornbread, thank you for exposing the AT and the backstabbing organization that they are. Exactly. I mean, you're quite welcome. Every day, this place comes out with some new way to finagle the industry for their own betterment, while everybody else takes it on the chin, as they say. Their whole goal is just to lower rates, lower pay, and everything else so that their CEOs make tons of money. Who was it? Knight. Okay, so Knight. They came out with this big thing. Oh, our CEO's taking a 20% pay cut because of this, so he's in it with you. Baloney. When you look into it, he's taking a 20% pay cut on his salary. So he's taking 20% pay cut on his salary. His salary's $200,000. So he's taking a $40,000 pay cut. Now, he is taking a $40,000 pay cut, but with bonuses and all these other things that he gets, his pay is actually $4 million a year. Okay, so he's saying 20%. It's actually about 1% or less, right, of his total amount, because that's not an exact amount. Okay, but they put it out there like he's 20% pay cut. Yeah. Okay, that'd be like they give you a 10 cent a mile salary, and then everything else is bonuses. And so they give you a penny and go, you got a 10% raise. Not really. Okay, so this kind of stuff in the industry, and that's another ATA company, right, is just ridiculous. 20% pay cut. I'm with you. I'm taking a big pay cut too. No, you haven't done anything. My great-grandfather in Arkansas worked ox and wagon. I would have the teaming company logo if I had my own company. Oh, yeah, right. You can always just make one up and stick it on your truck or something. Edward G., can I go on your website and fill out the application, or do you need to call? Well, here's some of it anyways. At least we can put that out there. Also, don't forget about Jay, too. Let's talk about Jay. Jay's been out there crazy trying to keep the auto industry going. Holy moly. He's live on Tuesdays. Fleet Nav System is live on on Tuesdays also. Everybody's live Tuesday. I should be live on Tuesdays. Credit Coast to Coast was another. I don't remember. That place I don't remember. Expense account on any boss is huge. Well, Bill. Well, then, you know what? I agree. But then they shouldn't say, oh, he's taking a 20% pay cut. He's not really taking a 20% pay cut. You know, they're mincing their words. They're using exact words like Greg Brady did in the famous episode of the exact words there, but it's not true. And they're putting it out there so drivers are like, oh, well, he's with us. He's taking a big pay cut. No, he's not. On $4 million, if I took $40,000 out of your pay, you'd probably still be all right. You'd probably, even out of $200,000, you'd probably still be okay. But on $4 million, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. You'd like, well, I don't know if we can, and we're not going to get that extra, used Ferrari this year, whatever. It's $40,000 on that kind of money is not a big deal. And if they're going to say, they should say his whole pay. This is his full amount, and this is what he's taking a cut on. That'd be better. I mean, look, they went from $1,000 to $750 at Maverick on a guarantee. That's 25%. That's real money there. That's what he should. That'd be $1 million out of night. That would be something. That'd be something better to do. The Trucking Alliance is another backstabbing organization. Yeah, there's tons of these places. I don't know if the Trucking Alliance is part of the ATA, though. I'm not sure how they're all linked together. What about C.L. Werner also? Don't forget, C.L. Werner is finally retiring from truck driving. I honestly didn't know he was still alive. So he is. He's number one. If they showed his employee card there at Werner, and he started the place in the 50s, 56 or something like that, he's no longer going to drive. He's still going to be part of the company and all that. He will not be driving. If you get into livestock and get 48,000 miles, an owner-operator in most places, 25% of the load. So even on the low side of things, as a company driver, you'll still get $1 a mile minimum. That'd be pretty good. That's if that's something that you'd want to do, haul around livestock or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of things to do in the industry. That's what I always tell new people in that too. You can do all kinds of stuff in the industry to make money. From, being home every day to being gone for the whole year, hauling livestock, hauling whatever you want. Everything that there is in the trucking industry, right, for new people. So you never know. However much you make is certainly up to you. It's up to the individual driver to make their way. Greg Brady episode, he almost hit a semi-truck because he took his eyes off the road to look at a new record album. I don't remember that part of it. I remember the pizza part, of course, with the umbrella through the top of the convertible Chevrolet. He had to take Bobby with him because those were his exact words. How about that? Brady Bunch addresses hot button issues like distracted driving. Brady Bunch is always first on this kind of stuff. They always were. Bull hauler at cattle pots, and it has been ages since I've seen cattle paying more than $1.50. What is a cattle pot? I'm afraid to know what that is. I've never hauled cattle, obviously. Mark, could I work at GP Transco if I bring my snowman truck? I don't know. Actually, I think they have an age limit. I'm not sure. Maybe they don't have an age limit. That would be pretty. If they do, they should give you a pass on that truck. So that would be pretty cool to see there. Hauling ice cream and processed meat base. Why do you do this to me? I mean, I'm having an ice cream moment, and then you have to throw in a processed meat base. Hopefully not for the ice cream. Is that some kind of new weird Ben & Jerry's flavor where they take the center out of the Ben & Jerry's and fill it up with a processed meat base? Why would a processed meat base have to be frozen solid? Like, usually when I did ice cream, it was 20 below the load, so the reefer ran all the time. So, that would be terrible. Okay, Stone Trucking closed, right. Okay, so reload to truck was 2.8. I got that, ATRI. Oh, and Invest in America Act, right. So the Invest in America Act. So DeFazio wants to invest in America for the people. Right, he wants the rulemaking to be a year after enactment, after he establishes limits on the amount of time a driver may be detained unless compensated. So they're going to look into detention for drivers and see how long you should be able to sit there for free before you're compensated. Now, it doesn't say how much and what it would probably be, and likely all they could enforce is minimum wage because nobody else is going to be able to get more than that. So they may say after an hour or two, what companies will probably push for is the most possible for, and they'll settle at 2 hours, it would seem like, after which point you'd be required to be compensated. But I'm sure part of that would be you can only be compensated if you're working. That's I think how would they would do it. But still, $7.25 is federal minimum wage. That is not any kind of money. The pizza episode with Bobby was the same episode. Yeah, I know. I just don't remember the truck part in there. I remember the umbrella through the thing and the frogs on the pizza. Right. And that woman in there is the woman from Friends. So that was in that episode. Alexander Lynn. It's for hot dogs and sausages. It has to be refrigerated at 26. How are they putting it in there with ice cream? Ugh. I don't know one bull rack that would even run empty for $1 a mile. Do you remember a company called No BS? The decal was a bull in the middle of a marked out circle pooping. Kind of. Was that the name of the trucking company, though? It doesn't seem like that was the name of their company. Was it No BS Trucking, or did they just have that sticker on the thing? Brady Bunch had a 70 convertible Cuda. Was that the episode for that? Because Mike had a convertible Impala, Caprice, whatever, Impala for a couple of years. With the mom had the wagon. My neighbor was a Teamster driver for Kroger. Second time he got cancer, Kroger and Union did everything they could to fire him. Had to do chemo without pain meds in fear of getting fired. That's pretty awesome. I mean, what kind of union is that? What happened to unions? They should be protecting people. Christina, is a Frosty from Wendy's ice cream? No, I don't think so. They're good. They're like super delicious. And, of course, they're for what? Dipping your fries in. Everybody knows that. I bet the Trucking Alliance and the ATA spend a lot of time in bed together in a lot of different ways. Yeah, I just don't know how those two are connected where this ATRI is part of the ATA. I don't know if the Trucking Alliance is part of the ATA. Yes, you can apply on the website. Click at the top at Drive GP for GP Transco. I quit hauling other people's steaks. Nice. I believe it was just a sticker. I thought that was a sticker that people put on the back of their truck. I don't remember that No BS Trucking being an actual company. The woman was Sherwood Shorts, the producer's daughter in real life, who turned out to be Phoebe on Friends. People don't know that. So, meat gets shipped separately from ice cream. Cross-contamination. I know. That's what I'm saying. Both meat-based and ice cream are very heavy loads. Yeah. Well, it depends how much of it you have, right? Somebody asked me, is that heavy? It depends. If I have 10 pounds of it, not really. Right? So I guess it depends. How about the driving course where Greg knocked the egg off the cone? That was classic. I've seen all these. Of course, because he, again, showing off, being a ham. And then, of course, he couldn't eat that. But, yeah, absolutely. If GP Transfer, if I ever get hired on in the future, could I bring my pit bull with me? Oh, yeah, they love pets there. I will say that. I think a cool name for a trucking company would be Project X. That'd be pretty good. That'd make a good logo sticker for the side of the truck, certainly. If you could get a Project X logo sticker on there. Part of the other Invest in America Act is the FMCSA must conduct an impact review of the new hours of service. And the new hours of service could not take effect until 60 days after the submission of the results of this impact review. And they have to look at safety impacts and driver impact and do all the full analysis of all that. And they get a year to do that. And then they would have to publish them and get comments. It could possibly, if this goes into effect, this could be 2 years of a delay. I thought it was going to be delayed by lawsuits. It might be delayed by DeFazio itself. Maybe. Well, Bill, that was not Phoebe. Oh, was it Rachel? It was one of them. I think it was Phoebe, though. Typically, those runs between 42 and 44,000. That's a good load. Chris is eating 4 large Frosties at once. I don't know if I could eat enough fries to eat all those Frosties, because that's what the Frosties are for dipping your fries in. That's, you got to do the double fry for structural integrity, and you go dipping in the Frosty. Absolutely. And for a while, they were giving free Frosties out at Wendy's. They're not doing it anymore. But during the whole shutdown and everything, you could go by and just get a free small Frosty. That's why you couldn't get into Wendy's, because, again, anybody that gets anything free, they don't appreciate it. And so then there was huge lines around Wendy's because they were getting like a 50-cent Frosty for free. Same with the cart at Aldi. Same with anything else that's given out free. They also have to establish a specific mileage and time limit for personal conveyance in the new proposal. So there would be a time and or mileage limit on personal conveyance use. You wouldn't be able to just travel around the country, even if you own the truck. on personal conveyance. How about that? Poor Frosty's at once is permanent brain freeze. I know, but so good, though. And only chocolate, of course, same thing. These other new age, hippie flavors like vanilla and all this, that's not a real Frosty. Okay, so no, chocolate. Alexander's never been a Frosty person, but only, we can agree to this, only chocolate. Okay, these other made up flavors, I don't know where they even heard of vanilla or whatever. That's not a flavor of a Frosty. This bill that I read was 38 pages of boringness, which you can just look up and read. There's a download a PDF. These are all on page 24. There's a bunch of other stuff too. Like they're going to do a study and see why people aren't taking Amtrak. That's part of the thing in there too. There's like money for that. Have you ever priced Amtrak? Okay, you'll see why people don't take Amtrak if you go price Amtrak. At any major city like Chicago has a big Amtrak station, go price a ticket to, say, Seattle or Los Angeles for Amtrak, and you'll see what the problem is. Holy moly. A GP Transco, absolutely no cost for the pit bull. Only if the pup damages something in the truck, like he eats the truck up. You have to be liable for the repair. Yes, if the dog eats the truck, you're paying for it. So don't get a puppy that likes to eat everything. Chris, chocolate is the best. Chocolate it's like pizza, right? It's the only thing that there is. There shouldn't be any other one. What do you think about the government? I wanted to ask this about them establishing, detention times. Would you like the government to regulate your detention time? And I think it's going to depend on how much people get paid for detention right now, and whether the government should regulate it. Great idea. Maybe everyone should be regulated equally. Oh, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? But we don't want. Some people are more equal than others, as they said in Animal Farm. The problem, the more people get on detention or whatever now, the less they're going to like the government. Because if the government said, "Oh, you only have to pay people after 2 hours," that certainly discourages places from paying people now. Alexander, do you have a friend that loves taking Amtrak? I'd love to take Amtrak too, but holy mackerel, they're super expensive. And the trains run late a lot, but it is way expensive for what you get, I think, on Amtrak. Someday I would like to take it all the way around the country. Start in Chicago and just go all the way around and come back to Chicago. I think it'd be a lot of fun. They got chocolate is king, yes. They have 75-cent Frosty for free, but spent $5 in opportunity costs waiting in a big line. That's true. So people wait for free things. They're stepping over dollars to pick up dimes again because people think they're getting something free. It's like my crazy friend with the bananas, 6 miles away. And so he'll drive 12-mile round trip and save 20 cents. That's crazy. Just buy gas wherever you are. It's cheap. He's wasting time, wasting money going to get this cheap gas, which costs more money. Sorry, talking to the mechanic about my truck repair. Tell him to get it going. What are we doing here? Keep the government out of your mouth. Wow. That could be a sticker and go to a number of groups at one time. George Wilson, no government in anything at all, especially detention. Because, so they say, after 2 hours, you're required to pay $7.25. Well, everybody says, all right, we're all going to pay $7.25. That's a possibility. They don't have any incentive to pay you more than that, other than the market may still make them do it. James, I love Ben and Jerry's, everything but twists. Okay, I can go along with that. Everything but twists. At least it's still Ben and Jerry's, because we don't want to have other things than that. What about Fuzzy Nugget? What does Fuzzy Nugget think about detention time? I'm not sure. I will say that. Let's see, where'd that go off to? Right. So these three things are proposed in a huge bill by DeFazio, the Invest in America Act for the People, which I love the name of it. It's always for the people. And if this passes, these kind of things go in there, and there's a ton of other things for railroads and transportation and bridges, and it just goes on and on. $1 million here, a few million there, a couple million, spend millions. And why should it regulate PC for somebody who owns a truck? If they own the truck and want to drive it across the country and don't have a load, what's the problem? What does he care about it? Because you can drive a car across the country. They don't regulate that. If this person's going home or whatever, I just don't like that kind of stuff. Even I'm not a fan of that kind of thing. As long as you're not running a load around, what's the difference? How much money do you save a week from your check mark for retirement or savings? Hey, I'm just going to go out with a bang, right? Who knows if I'll even make it that far. I'm on the other side of I think you should make more money rather than, it's kind of a motivation Monday. There's two ways to make it in life, which is to save, always save and save. And then there's another one, always make more. So not detention time regulation, but things I'm regulated on like personal convenience. I'm happy with my detention time pay. That's why I chose to work there. Right. You get your good detention pay, and so you work there. But the company, and I don't know if they would lower the pay because people would go somewhere else, certainly. But they would certainly have an incentive to lower the pay if everybody paid the same amount. There was like some kind of floor. Now they have to pay it to you or you'll leave. But if you couldn't get better anywhere else, you might not leave. I don't like it. You got your pay without the government needing anything. I don't understand why other people sit for days. I get letters. Oh, I've been sitting since Thursday. I'll get a letter on Tuesday. I've been sitting since Thursday. They finally got me a load. I write back, what did you make? Nothing. I'm like, well, what are you doing there? What are you doing? I mean, they're like, oh, this happens on a lot of weekends. Well, get the heck out of there. That's no kind of life. Why we got 2 hours to make minimum wage? No doubt. And also they'll limit you on how far you can drive your own truck. That's crazy. Transportation lines in Chicago worth looking into for driving. Oh, well, it's already around Chicago. So is it 1099? That's I'm going to ask about that. Monday motivation. Yeah, partly right. Dying debt-free, what a waste. Exactly. Spend it while you got it. Maybe we should have speed regulations also, equal pay across the board. Oh, that's interesting. But you don't want May getting involved in that. Oh, my gosh. May will be like, hey, slow them down. We don't want to have them in that. Alexander says 5% for all of your 401k. Then I do an annual IRA transfer. Holy mackerel. You're rolling in the ice cream dough. Oh, literally over there. So you're late, Michael Buller. It's good to see you here today. Not that good at math, but 6 trillion minus 30 million works out to 200,000 per person. Government rips us off. Yes, that's exactly correct. They could just give everybody that money and not have to worry about it. They could just give it to you once in your life. I meant grain transportation. Oh, grain. Yeah, I don't know. Grain transportation? I don't know. Are they 1099? That's the first question I always ask in Chicago. While Bill puts 20% of his gross aside every week, it's not too much or too little just in case they don't make it to the end. To the end of what? The day? I mean, what are you not going to make it to? You made it this far. You got a ways to go yet. 20% of your gross in case I don't make it to the end. I don't know what the end. Everybody makes it to wherever the end is. I love my detention, $25 an hour after the first hour. So if the government regulated $7.25 an hour after 2 hours, would your company lower that pay if everybody was paying the same amount? Now, believe me, if this actually gets through and they do this kind of study, you watch who fights to say, no, we don't want to pay, this kind of detention pay. It's going to be the usual suspects, believe me. Most of the money is going to big business. Socialism for big business. Exactly. In case you don't make it to end of retirement, you already made it. Well, the IRS should give us this 1 year off paying taxes and not having to file. Oh, that'd be great. You know what they're considering doing right now is eliminating the payroll tax. Right now, payroll, Trump talked about it, right? That they're considering no payroll tax through the end of the year. That would save you some on your check, right? So that would help a little bit. Everybody would get a slight pay bump. And hey, money's money. No one pay on any taxes for anything. Everyone keep 100% of their income. That would be great. What they should do maybe would be a better idea would be a VAT, right? So taxes, we have to run the government. So they need some kind of money to keep them well-maintained roads, of course, in civil order, as we see. But what about a VAT? So that you decide what you pay tax on. Either that or what would be the most fair, I've always thought, is just a flat rate. Take your amount and divide it by 10% or whatever. Multiply it by 10% and that's what you pay. Easy. And everybody pays the same amount. So the more you make, the better off you are. That's what seems like a better idea for me. And since people would gripe, we can say, all right, the first $35,000 a year, no taxes. And it's 10% of everything after that. That gives people on the bottom a little bit of a break. And everybody else pays in. Simple. Tyson will fight the detention pay. Tyson Foods is pro-slavery. I agree. Tyson's going to fight that. Oh, yeah. They're going to be like, what? We got to pay $7.25. Some of our drivers sit 10 hours. So, yeah, they're not going to like that kind of thing. And it's going to be interesting. I wish this would pass because I love to hear the arguments from companies to not pay people. Why should we not pay people? That's why they haven't come out with anything yet. They're waiting for it to pass. But why should they want to not pay you anything? Use Pelosi's money? Yeah, she could sell that refrigerator that I saw, which was a pretty nice fridge. Payroll tax is what your company pays, not you. No, you pay 7.25%. They pay the 7.25% of that. So their part of that tax does come out of your check. They commented about that and had a big chart and everything. So once they put a chart up, it's legitimate. So you would get more money, would take home. May it slow because of accidents? Did they slow it down to keep the DOT number? You have to answer to the FMCSA. Really? Did they have enough accidents where they had to slow their trucks down? Because I will tell you this. When you look up companies on the safer web, I'm always been impressed with May because it goes 2 years on that first page that comes out. They have a super low rate of accidents. They have a super low out of service rate. So just for inspections and stuff, very, very low in the industry. They have an excellent safer web page. One of the best I've seen of all companies. Way better than most places. Michael Muller, did you find the new $20 bill online? Yes, we did. I talked about this at the beginning, but you weren't here. So the $20 bill, I did research and stuff. So they were going to change the 20. I'll tell people this again, to Harriet Tubman. They were going to put her on the 20. They've delayed it. But what has come up is that some groups, and you can buy this online. There's a stamp that you can buy online to stamp Harriet Tubman over Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill and kind of make your own Harriet Tubman 20. And that's what this bill was. It was a stamped bill. And so I looked up, is it illegal to stamp a bill like that? Is it illegal? It is. Title 18, Section 333 of the U.S. Code. It shall be, you shall get 6 months in jail and a fine, or both, for defacing the money in any way. In any way defacing the money. So if you pass a bill that's defaced, you see it's defaced, that's not allowed. That's illegal, and you're subject to arrest. So, and I always tell everybody, no matter what color they are, if you're being arrested, just go to the police station, because if you fight, they will just call other cops in there to either take you to the police station or kill you on the scene. So it's always better to go. Well, you're a bootlicker. Look, I'm not fighting 20 cops, all right? I'm not Jackie Chan. I'm going to the police station, and we'll worry about it in court. We'll fight it out later. So that would be what I would say. It's just, all right, I'll go. Let's go. Whatever you want me to do, I'll comply at that point, because they'll just call more police in. That's all they do. I heard tons of stories from my grandfather and dad growing up of how it was in the 50s and 60s as an officer. So I can imagine it's probably not gotten any better with the new technology. They didn't have stuff to tase you and stuff. They just had to beat you with huge flashlights. But that's what I would do. And so, yeah, the 20 is a Tubman stamp, which you can buy online, and there are groups encouraging you to do that. Stamp all the 20s and send them out. There's tons of pictures of these Harriet Tubman stamped $20 bills online. I don't recommend you do it because it's not allowed. It's illegal, and you could theoretically be arrested, which apparently you were here. So that is the story of the Harriet Tubman $20 bill. Drivers with flip-flops wonder why they don't get 3 times as many miles. Cornbread. Some companies don't care, but look, if you went into a company with flip-flops and that nail, that clicking it, that should be it. See you later. Come on. Wear closed-toed shoes, please. And who wants to walk around the fuel island? There's bags of who knows what and stuff out there. Oh, my gosh. Wiener juice and everything on the ground. I honked my horn, but the tree wouldn't move. Exactly. If you deface or counterfeit currency, the Secret Service will come after you. Cash King. That's true. It said for more information, see, and it gave you the link to the Secret Service. That's true. So you're not allowed to deface it in any way, right? And then spend it. You just can't. And people say, well, that shouldn't be illegal. You shouldn't go to jail for that. But that's true. But it is. It's like pot. I always get that with people with pot. Well, Mark, they should make pot legal, so that's why I smoke pot. Well, but where you are, I tell people, if it isn't legal, then they can arrest you for it. You can think it should be legal, but until it's changed, it should be legal. Now, the funny thing about all the protests and stuff, I went to vote here June 2nd. Here last week, it was voting day here in Indiana primaries. I was the only one there. Okay, and it was a late day, so I was like 7:10 or so. I was in there after work, and they opened at 6, and I was the second person in there to vote because I asked them, because there's nobody there. So the same people that have all time to protest don't have time to vote. Go vote. If everybody that didn't vote would vote, you would change whatever election you were in. That's all you got to do, get together and vote. So I think that is a good solution to everything, really. Wearing closed-toed shoes that keeps your feet free of fungus. I do squirt spray, I don't know about squirt, baby powder in my shoes, foot powder, every day before I put my shoes on. I do. And whenever I'm not outside the house, I have my shoes off. Like I got my shoes off right now. Okay, so only wear shoes outside the house. Keep your feet dry, but baby powder or foot powder in your shoes every day keeps your feet dry. You won't have any funky feet or whatever. And when you take your shoes off, they'll smell like a baby's bottom, which is great. I still was wrong company. Well, that what I'm saying, that company that I was talking about, right? If you don't have a car payment, pay yourself that payment. I'm saving you a month. The same thing. If you have extra money for anything, I broke my neck in September, and that's when I found your show. All right. Well, that's pretty. Are you recovering from that, or how long does that take to recover for? Right. Which wiener juice? You know, the when you have your wiener in your hand and the juice comes out when you're walking back to your truck from inside the Loves, you know. Back in the 50s and 60s, not everyone had a camera in their pocket. Cops told you something, you listened. I agree. But it's still, even today, you know, whether they're right or wrong, they will, if he wants to, or she, I guess now, right, wants to arrest you, they're going to arrest you. And if you don't comply, they'll call more of their friends until they either hog tie you and take you to jail or kill you on the spot or hurt you. It's not worth fighting on the side of the road. I didn't do anything. That's not going to help your case on the side of the road. It just isn't. Go downtown and then figure it out while you're still alive. That's my advice to anyone who's being arrested. If they're going to arrest you, go downtown. At least you're still alive to worry about it. You know. Why would you wear slides except if you're off duty? I never wear them at work. What's a slide? Shoes? I agree, right. But closed-toed, look, at work, closed-toed, please. I say pants. For men, at least, wear pants. Old-fashioned, yes, you should wear pants. And sleeves, okay? Wear sleeves. Nobody wants your hairy armpits hanging around. You just look better. Come in, you look a little better. I wear flip-flops in my truck, and I'll switch to my boots when I get out. Keeps the inside of my truck clean. Yeah, look, you're inside. But nobody wants to walk across the fuel aisle in flip-flops. They disintegrate. And once that little part in the middle comes out of your toes and the flip-flop flops back and you're walking around barefooted, oh my gosh, in wiener juice. How much does Aflac pay for a broken neck? Oh, that's very good. It depends on the policy, right? It would depend on the policy. When my wife was working, she no longer works, but when my wife was working, she had Aflac there and broke her foot a couple of years ago, and that paid about $3,500. That was her policy over a few months for her being out of work. But they had different levels of policies, so it's another thing that I recommend. My company doesn't offer Aflac, but hers did, and we got it. She doesn't work there anymore, so we don't have it anymore. So Western Express driver, Costco, flip-flop, shorts, and tank top. Look, I don't know who they're hiring at Western Express, but at any company, please, flip-flops. You walk into the place, you want them also to think like you know what you're doing. They shouldn't be nervous, like, oh, this driver has no idea what he's doing. Yeah, I'll back in right here, you'll get this done, and we'll be done with it, you know. It's pants sleeves and a death metal band t-shirt for you, Alexander. All right, I can accept that. Right. That'd be great. What do you think of this, Barry Manilow live shirt? What do you think about the 75-year-old guy in Buffalo pushed by the cop and left with his head cracked open? I don't know. I did read a blurb about it, but I don't know the whole story of what precipitated that whole deal. So if you know more about why the police and him got into an altercation, I'd love to hear it. You know, why they got that close to where they were pushing him around. What's up with the people in other countries protesting over this guy they killed? The other countries are all up in arms about it too, I guess. Mustafar, resistance is futile. You'll be assimilated. I agree. In this case, the thing is, they can just keep calling people. They'll just get on the little radio thing, call more and more and more of their friends, right? I think we can agree to that. Whether you're being arrested wrongly or not, it's not going to help you to fight it on the spot. Just go. Just go. You're still alive then. You're not a man until you've been arrested. Wild Bill, are you a man, Wild Bill? I kind of believe you are. Slides are slang for flip-flops. Oh, I don't know all the... I was going to look it up in the Urban Dictionary later. Okay, flip-flops, got it. Sorry to bring up news, but what do you think of the tanker story in Minneapolis? That's great. Who every news head says he tries to run over. They did say that, but it turns out, even the police said no. He was on the road legally, and I guess he came around a corner or something and didn't see them until the last minute, and so kind of cruised into them rather than trying to run them over. And they beat him up. They're not going to be charged. He's currently not been charged. And that's how it should go. He doesn't want them charged. Okay, so I'd say if you guys charge me, then you have to charge them. That's how we do that. I guess he's been fired from what I read on some blurb somewhere. Or had his lease cut. I was like company uniforms, clean and professional, no cost to the driver. George Wilson, I agree. And they give you uniforms here. I don't wear them because they're not comfortable. I said, hey, why don't we get some comfortable uniforms, not these, they feel like you're wearing sandpaper, like, oh, these are cheap or whatever. I'm like, well, I'm not wearing them. And they give you 5 of them every year. I have tons of them here. And they're just still hanging on the same hangers that I got them on. Monkey butt works good, yikes. Our company policy on flip-flops is automatic termination of seeing wearing them. That's pretty interesting. And I'm not terrible with that. I mean, company could have their own policy on that, and then you would decide if you want to work there. Oh, wow, Bill, you are. That's what I figured. People are protesting of the racial discrimination against people with brown skin worldwide. That's true. That's what they're saying. Yes. How many of them voted? You can apply for Aflac independently. I know, but I'm already paying for insurance, so she's out of there. But yeah, I guess you can go buy it yourself. And the duck, right. I like it. It paid, no problem. I'll take the time she used it. It worked just like on TV. We filled out a form, sent it in, and they started sending checks. It worked just like that. So if it's available to you, I'm a fan of it. This is my 4th month home from a herniated disc. Wow, Big Mike. In my neck, and don't qualify for unemployment due to its medical and disability. Don't accept you until 5 months. Wow. So do you not have, I guess you did not have short-term and long-term disability at your company. This is another recommendation from me, I guess, which is short-term disability. So here where I am after 1 week of being disabled, I would get 70% of my check from work until I could go back to work, or until I think it's 26 weeks, and then you'd go on long-term if you still couldn't work, and that goes for years. But that's extra. That's an extra cost. They don't provide that. But I pay for it because at any point, drivers are likely to be injured, and I don't want to be out of a check like that, so I know that no matter what happens, I'll continue to get a check. I think it's worth getting. Make sure no one spikes your foot powder with fiberglass powder. That would be horrible. Only one that would do it would be the cat. Okay. He has his lease cut. I thought they did cut that tanker guy's lease. Yes. If you're going to resist arrest, get naked immediately. Improves your chances. Well, it saves time in jail, I guess, depending on who you're in there with, too. Fast Joe, right? 1 million babies are murdered by abortion. Stop whining, abolish abortion. That could be done at the voting box as well, where no one was. Tuesday, it was like no one was down there doing anything. Your feet smell like you've been kicking babies' butts all day. That's true. Look, they're nice and soft still. My company policy, no steel-toe flip-flops. That's terrible. They should have let you wear those. Alexander, looks like your kitty Gotham is going to become my truck cat. He's stressed out from the pup. Yeah, bring that cat with you, too. Just sent you the link from the video from Buffalo. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see why that is. We got paid $10.99. Well, then you didn't have... You're kind of stuck then, right? When are the new hours of service going to be in effect, and why are we still with these cheap freight on the middle man out of his trucking business? Okay, well, the middleman. Well, the hours of service will go into effect currently September 29th. That's the current date. If that changes, I'll let everybody know. The rates are still low because there's not enough freight to support the number of trucks that are in the industry. I do know a number of owner-operators that are still making money in the industry, though. People are unwilling to change what they do. They know a thing, and that's what they do. But rates are set by the free market, so there are still good rates to be had. There's tons of owner-operators on YouTube that are doing it, and that's just the way that it is. It will come back. Rates will come back, but we can't have the government set the rates. We don't want that. Otherwise, it'll be $1.50 or $1.20. I don't get the tanker guy getting his lease canceled. I think the governor of Minnesota should be fired for letting them on the freeway. Oh, that I totally agree with. Right now, that's again, it's not a protesting in the interstate. It's illegal. Everybody should have been hosed off of there with a fire hose. But him getting his lease canceled because just it's so political. Companies have to act. Otherwise, they're silenced by people. They're just out there and just pounded on. So they had really no choice. They had to boot one person to save the rest of the place. So I see why they did it. But letting people on the interstate, nobody got arrested from that. None of the people on the interstate got arrested. The people that stole his phone and wallet didn't get arrested. Or broke all the windows in his truck, those people didn't get arrested. So why isn't that illegal? Why isn't that illegal? I have Aflac, but I have issues with the time frame, the length of time it takes to receive payment. Well, Bill, we didn't have any problems here, I will tell you. As soon as she got back from the doctor, they had a form. She had her work sign it, and we mailed it in. And within a week, we started getting money. I mean, it worked just like TV. I recommend it. Didn't have any issues with it. Make sure no one puts fiberglass powder in your toilet paper and leave an empty bottle of baby powder on the counter next to the toilet. Man, I got all this baby powder all over the place. Kelly, I saw one driver standing on the running board of his truck while he was backing up. I tell you, over the years, I've seen people doing that. It's usually some big Pete with a narrow cab and the sleeper way out there, and you'll see some dude. It's an old dude it's always an old guy with the cowboy boots that are turned up at the end. You know he's worn them for 43 years and stuff, and that guy's standing out there on the running board. Yep. I bought my Aflac Private 150 for 3 with cancer, accidental, and critical illness. That's not too bad, right? And once it pays out, it pays. I'm still looking into road legends, and I would like your input on a walkaway lease with 75% of load paid as a way to learn that part of the industry without worry of truck payments. I'm not a fan of getting your truck at a company. No way would I get a lease through the carrier. Go to a dealer and lease the truck yourself. Buy the truck yourself. No way should you lease it through a carrier. No way. I'd like to see a new truck driver Bill of Rights in 2020. Oh, what would be on that? 76-year-old guy was Antifa and was told to leave several times. He had a scanner, nice, trying to get the frequency they were using and kept walking closer. His personal media, he brags about getting away. Oh, nice. Well, that's a problem. I do have a scanner. Thank you for the info you've given me through the emails. You're quite welcome. I'm just not a fan of getting the truck through a carrier, even if it's walkaway. It's just not you're way better off getting it outside of the carrier. You want to control that asset. Anybody wants to write? I write back to everybody when I get a chance to, so I'll write to you. You work for Keenan Advantage. I did see that on the trailer. Road Legends will take all your money in truck paying and all the payouts. It didn't seem like a great place. Boycott Keenan Advantage. Don't work for that company. All right, I won't. Mark, I'm filling out my application for GP Transco. Good. I hope that you at least get a little referral bonus. Edward G., I do not get a referral bonus. In fact, I insist that trucking companies do not pay me anything. So I do not get paid from any trucking company, including GP Transco. So I want you to get a good job. I hope it works out to be a good fit for you. And from people that go there, it seems like it will be. So that's how it works here. That old dude in Buffalo went down the complaint tree. That's terrible. Good information. Thank you very much. Yeah, September 29th for hours of service. They do not pay me for anything. It's only our decision. I want to stay independent and not depend on any company for his content. And we understand GP Transco. Yes, that keeps it. I think that keeps it more real, right? I don't take money from any trucking companies, and that just keeps it real here. And that way I just put on the companies that I like. Although companies are always welcome to come and answer questions. Very few of them seem to do that. And I'm more than grateful to GP Transco for answering these questions here. If they are open this country up, it's going to be a free-for-all. I went to the mall this weekend. There were people standing in line over 2 hours to get into Under Armour. Man, I know. I couldn't get into Forever 21. I couldn't get any clothes. I don't know what's going on. Wonder what would have happened if the tank was selling gas and the protesters got their hands on it. Yeah, what if they'd opened a valve up or something? That would have been a disaster. They tore his truck up and there were no consequences. I saw that. Everybody, that's illegal too, okay? So they can say, ran us over. You can't, once he stopped, you don't get to take him out of the truck and beat him silly and take his phone and wallet, and nobody got arrested. You can't say, oh, because they're protesting, we're not arresting anybody. I'm not up for that. Third-party lease, if you cannot get it through a dealer, there are ways to get a lease outside of a carrier. My take has always been don't lease your truck from a carrier. The Falcon is a perfect example of that. People losing their trucks. Get off Keenan Advantage. Love working there. Certainly this is not a Keenan Advantage thing. I do know they cut his lease on that, and I see why they would do that. It has to be. They would be under so much pressure if they didn't, and so they got to say, look, like, you got to go because of all the pressure. I see it. I get it. They should defend him, but they can't. It's like undefendable because there's so many people that are going to come at them. It just isn't worth it. I get it. Robert and Amanda B. There was also a FedEx driver who ran over a guy standing between the truck and the trailer. I saw that, right. They were looting the truck. It was on video. And they acted like he murdered the guy. Didn't he, isn't something happening to him or they're looking into it? They posted his chat from the phone. Oh, good. That's what they should do, right? Everything people post, right, is going to be public. So if you're saying, oh, look what I got away with, or look what's happened here, yeah, that's a real problem. That's going to be a problem later in saying, oh, we didn't know. And people were saying there were no guns drawn or anything. Well, I guess there's tons of people videoing everything now. You can't go anywhere without videoing. Don't lease. I think a lease can be successful for people that want to do it, but I would prefer people just lease the truck on their own and put it on to a carrier. If you like your carrier, go get the truck away from the carrier and then put it on to that carrier, because you never know what happens to a carrier. The highest grossing carrier, whatever, can close the next day, and you'd still have your truck. You just put it on somewhere else. Some of the people were calling other people racist for washing off graffiti. That's not racist, okay? You can't. Graffiti's illegal on most buildings, so that's illegal again. Okay, so they didn't charge the FedEx guy yet. I guess they're looking into it. The tanker chat was posted. Thanks to Mr. Answers, I've discovered Cassius King Trucking. He's very good. And you have provided a lot of good information to me, and I appreciate you both. You're quite welcome, and happy to help. Cassius King is one of these successful owner-operators out here, still making money, amazingly. So I recommend you go check him out, certainly. He has way more of these, like all the answers to owner-operator. I am not an owner-operator, and I don't play one on here either. So that's not my thing. Your finance book could lease a truck. Lease is not bad. Maybe. 28-mile-an-hour wind in the Twin Cities. Maybe it will blow the protesters out of the freeway. Oh, that would be something. Don't run anybody over. And that's going to kill the fuel mileage depending which way it's going, right? So that would be a problem. And I hope the air is working in that truck, too. You had problems with the other one. But at least this one, the air should be working in it, I hope. I can hope anyways. Well, as I started early, I have to leave early today to blow out of here like the 28-mile-an-hour wind that it is. I'd like you to all check out GP Transco if you want a good job, okay? They're going to treat you like a professional at GP Transco. All right, so check them out right there. And I want to thank them for being here in the chat and answering questions as well. Be sure to talk to Jay tomorrow at 9 p.m. Check out Fleet Nav Systems. How about that? At 3 p.m. tomorrow, they're going to be live on there. What? You can't. What? Fleet Nav Systems. Yes, they will be live too. And there's a speed round at the end of their show, so that's always great. That's always a lot of fun at the speed round. And let me put that back there. Let's see. Today, George Wilson was first today. So, yeah, I have to blow out of here just a few minutes early because of the Rona. So they're changing schedules around better than last week. A couple days last week, I didn't actually leave until 9:30 p.m. And so that gave me a whole night, which I did not like very much. So I'm in with the Al on that. Those were hard nights. I'm glad I don't have to do it all the time. And I don't know if I would stay to do constant midnights. So I agree with you. I totally agree with you on that. But I want to thank Christina Jones for being here today. Alexandra was here. Wild Bill, of course, was here today. Musafar, thank you for being here. Big D was here today. Let's see. The Mad Hatter came in. Big Huge Mike, I'm glad you were able to get on today. Cassius King Trucking was here today. And the Bull Hall and Bulldog, I appreciate you coming in. Steel Horse, it's good to see you today. Michael Muller came in, and we saw you today, so it was good to see you in here today. As I head on out of here, let's see, where am I going here? Oh, Dope Law was here today. I love it. What was for Monday Motivation? James was here today. Even though the pizza's not great, we appreciate you being here anyway. So thank you for coming in the show today. Let's see here. I'll do this clicky. And let's see. Cornbread was here, which I think is crazy. Chris. Let's see. Where am I at here? Oh, man. I'll go up here. Robert was here. Andrew was in here scared of Bigfoot. And let's see, I have to head out to work today, though, because it's slightly early. I shouldn't have to be out this late again. I do want to, this early anyway, I do want to thank everybody for being here. And there'll be more coming up this week, and I'll watch those videos that you sent and anything else. And we'll be in soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back. Be safe, too. Be safe, always.